Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is FA Cup semi-final weekend, a week after the women's, and like the women's side, Manchester United are looking to reach the final as they face Championship Coventry, who have beaten the odds to reach the last four of this competition. Coventry, under manager Mark Robins, have been on an incredible journey from playoff promotion in League 2, a title win in League 1 and being one game off the Premier League last season. They now found themselves back at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, where the last time they reached this round was in 1987, on their way to winning this competition. For the Red Devils, they have the second most FA Cups behind Arsenal and are wanting to reach back-to-back finals against the same opposition in Manchester City. It has been a sticky period for Ten Hag's side, with just 4 wins from their last 10 in all competitions, which includes 0 wins from their last 4 games. Ten Hag has had success during his time in England against sides outside of the Premier League. He's managed 5 games against teams in lower divisions and he has won all 5. The last time these two sides met was back in September 2007, where Coventry went to Old Trafford and won by 2-0 in the League Cup third round. Before that, United had won 16 of the previous 18 against Coventry. So, for this Sunday semi-final, in the FA Cup, will it be a huge upset with Coventry finding a way through, or will United once again reach Wembley to reach back-to-back finals for the first time since 2005? It's a huge day for both. It's very historic for Coventry, who are having their best FA Cup run since they won the competition back in 1987. It's their only ever FA Cup victory, and in the final they beat Spurs by 3-2, but they have been at Wembley previously and very recently, as last season, their last game of the season was at Wembley against Luton in that Championship playoff final where they were beaten on penalties. They won the League 2 playoffs in the 2017-2018 season, beating Exeter at Wembley, and also in the Football League Trophy, they won that back in 2017 and they beat Oxford by 2-1. So in recent years, Coventry have actually been to Wembley a decent amount of times and have been successful more often than not, but it was a huge blow for them at the end of last season, losing that penalty shootout to Luton, being one kick away from the Premier League. And this season it does look like the playoffs are just out of reach. They are 8th at the moment on 63 points, but they do have a couple of games in hand on the teams above. But it would mean for Coventry they would have to have a clean run from now until the end of the season. They'd have to win all 4 of their remaining games, which is a big ask, but if they can win today, that would surely give them confidence to go on and try and clinch that last playoff spot. As mentioned, it would be very difficult for them to do that, but at least they've got this to look forward to, the FA Cup semi-final. It's a 4-hour round trip for those Coventry City fans who, at the start of the season, probably thought they would be back here for maybe another playoff final. I don't think they expected to be here in a cup final, and it's how it's panned out. They were knocked out of the first round of the League Cup by Wimbledon, who are in League 2, but the FA Cup, they are going as far as they can possibly go. Nothing stopping them at the moment. It was such a incredible turnaround to get to this point for Coventry in the quarter-final game against Wolves, 2-1 down with a couple of minutes of added on time to play, but goals from Sims in the 97th minute and a goal from Hadji Wright in the 100th minute did lead Coventry to Wembley. 4 of their 5 games in the FA Cup so far this season have been at home. For United, they've only played 1 FA Cup game this season at Old Trafford, and that was also in their quarter-final. And again, what a crazy quarter-final it was. 4-3 win against Liverpool in extra time. Amad Diallo with the winner in the 121st minute of the game. Amad Diallo is on the bench for FA Cup red cards. They don't just apply to the FA Cup, they also apply to the league. So Amad Diallo missed just 1 game in the Premier League due to that second yellow card he got for taking off his shirt in his celebration. But both sets of players are in the tunnel. It's a injury-hit Manchester United team in terms of their defence, and Coventry will look at that and try and exploit it if they can, because Coventry have got some serious talent in their attacking lineup. But we'll go through both sides now in more detail. As for Coventry, it is just one change from their FA Cup quarter-final lineup against Wolves. It is Brad Collins in goal, who came in from Barnsley in the summer. This is just his second FA Cup appearance of the season, after his first was against Wolves in the quarter-final. A back three of Lati Baudia, Bobby Thomas and Liam Kitchen, with two wing-backs on the right of Milan Van Ivik, and at the left is Jake Bidwell. Two central midfielders of captain Ben Sheaf, who's been at the club now permanently since July 2021. This is his 140th appearance for Coventry, and he'll partner Josh Eccles in the midfield. Three up front on the right will be Callum O'Hare, who is the only change from that quarter-final starting 11, with Casey Palmer out of the matchday squad for Coventry. On the left will be Haji Wright, who is in fantastic goal-scoring form at the moment. He's got 5 in his last 8 in the Championship. He's got the 1 goal in the. He's got the 2 goals in the He's got 2 goals in the FA Cup, Haji Wright, 1 in the quarter-final against Wolves and 1 in the replay against Sheffield Wednesday. And the main man at the moment, Ellis Sims, who's got 15 goals so far in 2024 in 22 appearances in all competitions. He's got 5 and 5 in the FA Cup, a double against Wolves and a hat-trick against Maidstone. Can he be the difference maker for Coventry this afternoon? For Manchester United, it's 2 changes from their last lineup in the FA Cup against Liverpool, and it is both at centre-back, with Andre Onana remaining in goal. The only game he's missed in the entirety of this season was the FA Cup game away at Newport. At right-back will be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. At left-back is Diogo Dalot, making his 150th Manchester United appearance. But the 2 changes, as mentioned, came in the 2 at the back, and that is Casemiro playing centre-half, and alongside him will be Harry Maguire. Massive injury list for Manchester United. Camboire injured this week. Evans already out. So is Varane. So is Lindelof. So is Shaw. Really light at the back, Manchester United. So that is a makeshift centre-back pairing that they're going to have to deal with, and that will be something that Coventry will look to try and exploit. 2 older midfielders. So the fact that Casemiro has to go back into the centre of defence, that means Scott McTominay comes in, and he'll partner Kobbie Mainoo alongside him in that midfield. He turned 19 on Friday. 3 behind the striker on the right is Alejandro Garnacho, who's brought off at half-time in their last Premier League game against Bournemouth. On the left is Marcus Rashford, making his 399th Manchester United appearance at the age of just 26. In behind the striker will be Bruno Fernandes, who's got 2 goals so far this season in the FA Cup. They came in the first 2 rounds against Newport and Wigan. And through the middle is Rasmus Højlund, who has not scored for a very long time at the moment. He has scored 7 in the Premier League. They all came consecutively from Boxing Day to the 18th of February. He has got the 1 goal so far in the FA Cup so far this season, and that was away at Newport. They will need their Danish striker to be back in the goals today. Now, it's not a given that Manchester United will win. They are favourites for sure, but they have got a real lack of first-team players on the bench. In terms of first-teamers, they've got Ericsson, Anthony Diallo, and Bayendir, the goalkeeper. Bar that, it's full of youth players because Manchester United have got so many injuries at the moment. But it'll be Manchester United to kick us off, kicking right to left. Coventry left to right here at Wembley. Our referee is Rob Jones, and it'll be Bruno Fernandes to get us underway in the second semi-final of the FA Cup. The winner, or the winners, will take on Manchester City. We could have a repeat of last season's FA Cup final, or we could have the most unexpected finalist in Coventry. We'll have to wait and see. Which Manchester United are on the ball on the edge of their 18-yard box with the right centre-half today of Casemiro, who has played at centre-half at Real Madrid. I think he's done it once during his time at Manchester United, but the real alarming look of the Manchester United defence in the centre backs is the lack of pace. We know Maguire isn't blessed with pace, and Casemiro likewise been called out for his real lack of speed in that Manchester United midfield alongside Kobbie Mainoo. As United go long with Maguire out to the left hand side, Rashford will chase this down. Van Eevik will follow him all the way. Rashford can't keep it in, rolled out for a throw-in, for a goal kick, for Coventry. It was a good run from Rashford. It was not a bad ball from Maguire, but even with Rashford's speed and pace, he wasn't quite able to keep that one in. As it's a Coventry goal kick, so a moment for them to get their first few touches of the ball. As mentioned, Ten Hag has faced 5 teams outside of the Premier League during his time at Manchester United, and he has won all 5. They had to beat Charlton and Burnley in the League Cup when Burnley were in the Championship, and in the FA Cup he's beaten the likes of Reading, Wigan and Newport. So usually when he does have to face the lower league teams, he does get his side up for the games, and they usually go through like they should. Manchester United against teams in lower divisions. As it's a throw-in for Coventry, midway inside their own half, on the far side. Sheaf gets it and volleys it forward up to the halfway line for Sims, who loses out to Casemiro, who plays it along to the United left, and it'll be latched onto here by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who looks to be playing at left back today for Manchester United for the beginning of the game anyway. And here he is on the near side. Wan-Bissaka forward to Rashford. Lays it off to Wan-Bissaka. Loads of time on the ball for the Manchester United number 29. It's now Mainoo to get away from O'Hare. Down the left wing, Mainoo will carry on going forward here. Mainoo into the box. He goes outside the box with a pass to Fernandes. Then out to the right here to Garnacho in the area. On his left foot, he lets fly with the shot. Good block there by Bidwell. Falls to Hadji Wright, who can't quite hold it up for Coventry. Casemiro gets in there and wins it, but then loses out to Sheaf, who then's brought to the ground by Rasmus Højlund. And the Coventry captain wins the free kick for his side. Massive day for Coventry. They have beaten Manchester United just once in the FA Cup in that 86-87 season in the 4th round, where Coventry went on and won the entire competition. The last time that Manchester United beat Coventry in the FA Cup was in January 1985 at Old Trafford. So there is a deep history in this fixture. Not very recent history. You'd have to go back to the 80s and the 90s when these two sides really played their bundle of games together against one another. It's a Coventry throw in here in the final third, near side, thrown in by Van Eevik. It's a great throw. It drops in the box here towards Hadji Wright on the far side. He's got his back to goal, tries to turn on Dallo. Wright still has it. He gets the cross in. It's a little bit scuffed, and eventually Casemiro could play to Garnacho. Flicks it to Fernandes. Back inside to Casemiro in a right back position. It's now with Mainoo in the box. Lays it off for Casemiro. It's now with Dallo in the 18-yard area. Goes across to Onana. Well dealt with there by Manchester United. And it's the Red Devils back on the ball. And interestingly enough, the first 3 meetings between these two were all in the FA Cup. The first was back in 1912, where Manchester United won 5-1. There's Rashford in behind for Højlund. Down the left-hand side, flag stays down. He's got Lati Baldia chasing him down. Højlund keeps it, gets it back into Rashford. He's one-on-one at the moment with Eccles, and he takes him on. Rashford in the box, on his right foot, shoots, deflects. Fernandes on the edge, goes across to the right here to Dallo, who's been forced out wide. Hadji Wright's on the defensive cover to stop Dallo from running towards goal. He finds Garnacho instead, who takes it down the line and low ball in, and it's just about put behind for a corner there by Bobby Thomas. Got his right foot to it. Behind it went for a corner. Garnacho, positive running there at Liam Kitchen, who last time he played at Wembley was absolute heartbreak in the playoff final at Barnsley when they were beaten by Sheffield Wednesday with the last kick of the game in that League One playoff final last season. Bruno Fernandes with the out-swinging corner from the far side, and it goes to the near post, header away for Coventry. O'Hare will help it on once more, and beyond the halfway line it goes to Andre Onana, who's going to send it back out towards the Manchester United right here, headed in by Fernandes to Garnacho, who tries to get onto it in the 6-yard box, but he couldn't quite connect, scuffs it wide. That's a big opportunity for United Onana sent it forward. Fernandez was onside, and so was Garnacho. And just on the edge of the 6-yard box, Garnacho's had to slide towards it, and it's just bounced and just caught off his toe in behind for a goal kick. Coventry need to be careful there as they have a free kick kit won by O'Hare. Taking it to Liam Kitchen for Coventry. Forward to Hadji Wright and flicks it into O'Hare, and then in behind for Bidwell. Goes for the early cross towards Sims. He'll try and reach him, but it just takes a slight nick off Dallo and into the hands of Onana. Took the pace off the cross, which allowed the Cameroon international to come and collect for Manchester United. First little sight of an opening there for Coventry. It's definitely been Manchester United on top at the moment. But that is what you would expect. In fairness, as Manchester United are playing in their 32nd FA Cup semi-final. As Rashford fires that one out of play, looking for the switch for Garnacho. Yeah, 32nd semi-final for Manchester United. That's 2 more than any other side. And a Manchester United win would see them reach their 22nd FA Cup final, currently tied with Arsenal on 21. But this is new ground for a lot of Coventry supporters. An FA Cup semi-final. Their only previous one was in that 1987 semi-final where they were able to get to the final and win the whole thing. They had to beat Leeds in the semi-final 3-2 that year. As it's in the 18-yard box of Coventry's goalkeeper, Brad Collins. Clips it forward to O'Hare. Header won by Mainu. Straight to Van Evik, who takes it beyond the halfway line and gets it inside to O'Hare. Sims making a run ahead of him, but Van Evik will be fed the ball back, and it's Wan-Bissaka who gets in to tackle. Kicks the ball behind for a Coventry corner. Just over 7 minutes in. Really good attacking play there between O'Hare and Van Evik. That Dutch wing-back's got a lot of pace. That is for sure. But it'll be a left-footed in-swinger from this near side from Jake Bidwell. Lost 2 Championship playoff finals himself here at Wembley. As he crosses the ball in here. Good ball, but a well-won header by Casemiro. Straight to Sheaf, who can't quite get it back to Bidwell. Just a bit too far to his left. Couldn't keep it in play. Manchester United throwing in a left-back position. There is the manager for Coventry, Mark Robbins, looking for his 20th FA Cup victory as a manager, formerly a player of Manchester United for 4 years, very famously scored a goal to keep Alex Ferguson his job. Scored a goal in the 3rd round against Forest, and if they hadn't have got through that FA Cup tie with the Mark Robbins goal, then that would have been 4 years for Manchester United trophyless under Ferguson, so his job was in real jeopardy, but that Robbins goal kept them in the FA Cup and they went on to win that competition that season. That's United on the ball. Casemiro in the centre circle. Coventry not quite pressing him yet. He goes to his left here to Harry Maguire. Just the 1 win in his previous 5 against Coventry for Harry Maguire. Came in the last meeting he faced against Coventry. Home win with Sheffield United 10 years ago now. It's Wan-Bissaka in the box from the left-hand side, going across to Rashford, who's just on the edge at the moment. Goes down the outside. Eccles stopping him getting through, but he can work across anyway. And it's dealt with and cleared by Sheaf for Coventry. Put forward by Maguire, as far as O'Hare, who lifts it to Sims. And Sheaf will take over down the Coventry right. Now O'Hare, back to Sheaf, it's just away from him, and it's collected by Mainu. Hoyland brought down by Lati Baudia, but kept alive by Fernandez, so the advantage will be played by Rob Jones. Fernandez, 25 yards from goal, been forced to go backwards here to Mainu. Now Casemiro, just in front of the centre circle. Again, time on the ball for the Brazilian. As Fernandez, back to Casemiro again. Across to Maguire at left centre-half. It's now with Wan-Bissaka on his weaker left side. Plays a right-footed pass back to Maguire. Looking for a bit of movement, slips it through for Rashford, back heels it to Wan-Bissaka. Time for the left back. Goes into Rashford again on the edge of the box. Sims the one following him. Mainu to Maguire. Across to Casemiro, midway side the Coventry half hit. Just over 10 minutes in, still 0-0. Wan-Bissaka. Inside to Fernandes. On once more to Mainu. Returns it to Fernandes. It's now with Rashford. Finds McTominay, 20 yards out. Tackle from behind by O'Hare. Wins the ball. Cleared by Kitchen. Haji Wright will chase it for Coventry. Just overhit. Out it'll go. For United throwing just inside their own half hit. Needs to get that pass right because Haji Wright has the pace to get away if they get the pass right. But for Manchester United, they've beaten Wigan, Newport, Nottingham Forest very late on in the 5th round. 89th minute winner from Casemiro. Then that 4-3 win against Liverpool. There's Maguire on halfway. Plays it forward for Fernandes. Space for the Portuguese midfielder. Not very good this from Coventry. Out to the left to Rashford. In the box. 1-on-1 with Van Eevik. Rashford driving inside on his right foot. Shoots, it deflects. And it eventually drops to Mainu. Who finds Fernandes in the corner of the box. He crosses in. Header won by Latibardia. And up it goes for Haji Wright, who can take on Casemiro. But Dallo on the cover can get there and go back to Onana. But that's what Coventry are looking for. That ball forward in behind. Casemiro getting caught out there, but thankfully his right back Dallo was there to help him out and win the ball back for Manchester United. But the way that ball was played into Fernandes in the midfield, he had so much time and space, and it almost resulted in a Manchester United goal. It's Maguire in the centre circle. O'Hare will come and close him down, but he'll just shift it to the right here to Casemiro, who scored twice in last season's FA Cup run to the final, where he scored 2 against Reading in the 4th round. Maguire into the Coventry half. Looking out to the left-hand side. Playing it to Wan-Bissaka. Now forward to Rashford, then back to Fernandes, who's come very deep for the ball here. Fernandes with it. It's now with Maguire on this near side. Forward to Rashford. Space and time for him as he goes forward to Fernandes. He's allowed to turn but can't get through. Thomas sliding in there from Mainu, and it only falls as far as a Coventry man, and they can set away O'Hare, who goes to Sims. Has to hold it up against Maguire. Sims hits the deck, tries to kick the ball forward, and Manchester United have it back. No way that was going to be a foul for Sims as Mainu gets it through the legs there of Sheaf into Wan-Bissaka, and out to the right to McTominay on halfway. Brings it forward. He's got Garnacho out wide, and he'll eventually find the Argentine. Now with Fernandes in the centre circle. Clips it out to the left here to Rashford. He's got Wan-Bissaka making a run forward, but Rashford will keep hold of it. Tries to slip it through into the box for Mainu. Cut out by Sheaf, who lobs it over Rashford into Van Eevik. And Van Eevik will bring it forward into the Manchester United half here. Chops inside. Plays it to his left to Sims just behind him, but he can keep the ball moving here to Haji Wright. Garnacho's back to defend, and he nicks the ball off Haji Wright. Again, just a bit of a waste for Coventry, not quite clicking up there at the moment as Højlund brought down by Latibardia. And that'll be a Manchester United free kick just inside their own half there. Just that pass back, or that pass across, that went just behind Sims, just slowed down the attack, which allowed Garnacho to get forward as the ball was played towards Haji Wright. So we're back underway, 15 minutes in. Manchester United dominating the possession, not had any big chances as of yet. Coventry having to defend in a very compact shape. As for Coventry, they beat Oxford United in the 3rd round in their first game, 6-2 at home. Then had to use a replay to get beyond Sheffield Wednesday of the Championship. And then Maidstone it was in the 5th round, where they beat them 5-0 in the end to finish their historic FA Cup run, and then win against Wolves in the quarter-finals. They went 2-1 down in the 88th minute of the game, but turned it around and added on time very late on, as it's now with Rashford in the final third on the left wing here. Van Eevik is in front of him. Rashford goes across the box here to McTominay, who keeps it under control and been forced to go back here to Maguire. Being closed down by O'Hare, but Maguire kills it out to the left towards Rashford, headed into the air onto the edge of the box by Van Eevik, helped away by Bobby Thomas, all as far as the chest of Fernandes. It's now with Mainu, back out to the left again to Rashford, no real options in the box for him. It's with Fernandes in a more central area, forced to go back here into the centre circle to Casemiro, lays it back off here into Fernandes. And I think it's definitely a game where Manchester United need patience. I know that's not usually their style of play, passing the ball around like this. Manchester United more of an end-to-end game where spaces open up for them. But they're going to have to create their own spaces here with their passing. They're moving it around quite well at the moment. Manchester United and Maguire. High ball out to Rashford. Too high of a ball. Out it goes for a throw-in for Coventry. Something they can't quite be doing. As there is the Glazers. Well, one of the Glazers, I think. Or is both of them there? I think it's just the one. Don't know which one it is. But it does look like it's just one of the Glazers who's turned up for Manchester United. As O'Hare heads on beyond the halfway line. Sims touches it beyond Maguire, but dealt with by Casemiro. Hurried away by Fernandes. Down the Manchester United right flank where Garnacho will chase it. Bidwell will get there first. Hooks it down the line for Haji Wright, who can control it with his chest, but straight out of play it goes for a throw-in for United as they throw it into their own half here with Casemiro, who only won the one Spanish Cup during his time at Real Madrid back in 2014. But made up for that by winning 5 Champions Leagues, so it depends what you want more, a Spanish Cup or 5 Champions Leagues. I think I know what everyone would want, so can't say Casemiro will be too bothered by his lack of Spanish Cup wins. Bruno Fernandes on the left wing here. Plenty of Coventry bodies behind the ball. It's with McTominay. Back out to the left to Fernandes. Forward to Højlund. It's now with Garnacho, who's come into a central area to leave Dalot in a bit more space out wide. He has to go back to Casemiro. It's now with Maguire. He'll kill it out to the left here to Rashford. That's a better pass. It reaches United's number 10. Down the line to Fernandes. Inside to Mainu. Now to Fernandes once again. Through the legs of Sheaf, but cut out by Lati Baldia in the box to get it away from Højlund. And cleared first time by Brad Collins, and it's a high ball. It's a bit too long for Coventry. And back it is again in possession for Manchester United. Really good record, obviously, Ten Hag in the FA Cup as Casemiro goes long in behind for Rashford, who can control it in the box. Rashford towards goal, and it goes wide. Goal kick. Rashford wants a corner. What a huge chance that is. That's what Casemiro can bring from centre-half. A big diagonal ball. Rashford's well onside. In behind Van Eevik. The goalkeeper decided to stay. Came late. Rashford kicked it towards the far corner. And it looked like it took a nick there off the goalkeeper. Rashford kicked it with the left foot. Oh, wide. I don't think it took a touch. If it was the slightest nick. But I don't think the touch took it away from goal. That was going off target anyway. He'll be disappointed with himself there, Marcus Rashford, that he wasn't able to get that one on target. But that's the first time the Coventry defence has really been breached in behind. And yeah, Marcus Rashford will certainly be kicking himself for that one. Just the one FA Cup goal for him this season, Marcus Rashford. That was in the quarter-final in the extra time period against Liverpool. Only scored the once as well in the FA Cup last season. That was to the other Merseyside team of Everton in the third round. But for Ten Hag, like I say, 9 wins from 10 FA Cup games. Just the one loss, which was in the final last year. As Mainu lifts it in behind for Højlund on the edge of the box. He tries to get there ahead of Van Eevik, but he heads it forward for Eccles. So now with Kitchen in the box, just about moves it away from Garnacho and finds Sheaf. So now with the left wing back of Bidwell. He's been forced to go backwards here to Sheaf. Inside to Lati Baldia, who's overhit the touch, tackle by Fernandes. McTominay shifts it for Rashford. 25 yards out. Goes to the right to the edge of the area here to Fernandes. He's got time for a shot. Blocked by Kitchen. Still with Højlund. Back to goal. 1-on-1 with Van Eevik. He's got Wan-Bissaka overlapping. Højlund takes it towards the byline and puts it across. And kicked behind for a corner by Lati Baldia. Manchester United getting closer as we've hit the 20th minute here at Wembley. Fernandes with the shot. Good block there. With the head. As Højlund was the one to win the corner as he put the ball in. He did slip, but still had to be dealt with by Lati Baudia. Manchester United's last semi-final did finish 0-0. They were up against Brighton, where it went to penalties, and they didn't miss a single penalty. As Fernandes will cross this in low to the edge of the box for Garnacho to hit first time. It's well worked, but well over the crossbar and wide. Bit of a waste that. Left Garnacho free. Probably didn't have time for a touch because Bidwell was getting out to him. But he's completely sliced that. Alejandro Garnacho, the Argentine winger, who's not scored in the FA Cup this season. Just 2 in his last 12 he scored. That was the brace at Stamford Bridge recently in that collapse of a 4-3 defeat. There's Van Eevik down the line, beyond the halfway line for Sims, who will hold it up against Wan-Bissaka. Into the final third here, Sims, very isolated. No blue shirts around him, but eventually the support comes and it's a pass backwards to Eccles, then into the centre of midfield to Sheaf. It's now on the halfway line with Lati Baudia to Bobby Thomas at right centre-back. Can bring it forward and plays a pass here to Hadji Wright. Turns away from Mainu and plays it to Bidwell, who can work a crossing, deflects off the back of Dallo. Header won by McTominay. Straight to Kitchen, who plays a short ball towards Sheaf. It's picked up by Garnacho, who can keep the ball here for United on halfway. And he's clipped there by Kitchen. And a free kick for the Red Devils. Kitchen just having a little nibble there on Garnacho as he tried to go backwards there. The young winger kicked in from behind, then Kitchen just kicked through the ball as the whistle was blown. Kicked through the ball into Garnacho's side. So a bit of a painful one there for Manchester United's number 17. But in terms of Manchester United against lower league teams, under Ten Hag is successful, but in general in the FA Cup, they just don't get beat by teams lower down usually. Manchester United have progressed from 50 of their last 52 FA Cup ties against sides from a lower division. Absolutely crazy stat as Dallo puts it across for McTominay, and it's a tap-in from a yard out. Back in the side, and he's in the goals again, McTominay. It's been coming since the very first whistle. And eventually Manchester United take a lead. McTominay got the scoring underway against Liverpool in the quarter-final. And he's got it underway here in the semi-final against Coventry. Ball was played into the middle to McTominay, then worked it wide to Garnacho. Dallo got on his bike with the overlap. Dallo was found and he put it across for McTominay, who got away from his man of Lati Baudia, who went to the near post. McTominay went to the back post. The cross went beyond the goalkeeper. And McTominay simply could not miss. Couple of yards out, stuck his left boot at it. Into the back of the net it goes for Scott McTominay. And the Scotsman has been out of Manchester United's previous 3 semi-finals. Finally, he's fit to play in one today. And he's scored in it. And for Scott McTominay, it's his 5th FA Cup goal of his career. 2 this season. They've come in the quarter-final and now the semi-final today. And Manchester United lead by a goal to 0. We know Scott McTominay has been in the goals as of late for club and country. For McTominay, he scored 10 now in all competitions for Manchester United. Had missed the last 2 games though, McTominay injured. As Hadji Wright gets onto the flick on from Sims. Hadji Wright, 2-on-1 here. Casemiro slides in and wins the ball to perfection. And it's Manchester United back in possession with their, well, in a left-back position here with Bruno Fernandes. Had to get that tackle right, because that was a little opening that was occurring there for Coventry. But it was shut down rather quickly there by Manchester United's Casemiro, who just seemed to be quite settled in that centre-back position. But Coventry have won 2 of their 3 games at Wembley under Mark Robins. Did lose their last one to Luton, and it looks like they might be losing again today. Back-to-back Wembley defeats. But still got lots of the game to play, only 25 minutes in, but it has been all Manchester United so far. Wan-Bissaka on halfway on this near side. Goes inside to the goal scorer. McTominay. Just got everyone in front of him in a Coventry shirt. As it eventually finds Rashford. Back to Wan-Bissaka. Forward to Mainu. Midway inside the Coventry half. Just towards this near side. Finds Rashford inside to Fernandes. Just about keeps it moving as O'Hare was on his toes. Maguire forward to Dalot, who's coming to a more central midfield position here. Shifts it to the left to Fernandes. It's now with Rashford in the box, running at Van Eijk. Rashford. Good feet there to keep the ball away from the Coventry players. Eventually has to go to Mainu. It's now with McTominay on the edge of the box. Dalot making a run forward. McTominay turns instead and goes out to the left to Wan-Bissaka. Then forward to Rashford. Wan-Bissaka's overlapped, but Rashford can't work it to him. And Van Eijk's brought down in the box, and that'll be a free kick for Coventry. Almost opening up there for United once again. The last time Manchester United came into an FA Cup game, they'd just beaten Everton in the Premier League before beating Liverpool. This time they're coming into this game off the back of a draw. 2-2 away at Bournemouth. 2 goals that time from Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes making his 42nd start of the season. Bruno Fernandes played 59 games in all of last season. He won't quite reach that number this time because Manchester United haven't reached the League Cup final and they've not quite advanced as far as they would have liked to in Europe. Knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League as Sims on the left wing, stopped by Casemiro in that final third as well. So it's well dealt with by Casemiro, who's having a storming game so far at centre half. Manchester United who are calmly in possession now. With Harry Maguire, it's now with Mainu, who will enter the centre circle. Number 37, Kobbie Mainu, who made his first 2 England appearances in the last international break. Started against Belgium in that 2-2 draw. Scored in the FA Cup this season. It was his first Manchester United goal away at Newport. Also scored against Liverpool in the Premier League, most recently in his first ever Old Trafford goal. There's Rashford. Big switch out to Garnacho, and it'll find him. That's a brilliant ball. Garnacho into the box, running at Bidwell. Crosses behind Højlund, and it deflects off Van Eijk. He'll keep it in on the byline, and he'll clear it away here, Van Eijk. Up towards Hadji Wright, goes beyond him and Maguire. And it falls nicely for Casemiro, who's all on his own here in the centre circle. And it's Manchester United who are back on the ball. But Coventry do come into this game not in very good form, which is not what you want going into an FA Cup semi-final where you're already very against the wall as it is. 3 losses in their last 4 championship games against Birmingham, Southampton and Cardiff. Started the season shockingly. Coventry, they were 20th position by November. Now they've got themselves up to 8th, but I think it's a little bit too late for a playoff push in all honesty for Mark Robbins' side. As Manchester United bring it forward, midway inside the Coventry half, near side here with Rashford. Just giving loads of time on the ball here. Lays it behind him to Wan-Bissaka. Goes through the gears here for United as it's now forward to Fernandes. Now Mainu. 25 yards out. Mainu. 1-2 with McTominay. Still with Mainu. Goes to the right wing here to Garnacho. Again in the box. Dalot overlaps. Garnacho will lift it in himself, and it's well collected there by Collins in goal for Coventry. So we're just under half an hour in. Coventry not really done anything yet towards the Manchester United goal. As it's Bobby Thomas at right centre half. Clears it forward to the halfway line here. Controlled by Wright. Taken off him though by Wan-Bissaka. And it's United back on the ball immediately. With their number 20, Diogo Dalot. 150 appearances now for him. For Manchester United, 2 FA Cup goals. Scored 1 this season. Their first of the campaign against Wigan. And his first FA Cup goal was in January 2020 against Tranmere. That's Bruno Fernandes taking it beyond the halfway line. Down the United left in his green boots. He goes inside to Wan-Bissaka, back out wide to Rashford. Really poor pass, bit of a lazy one. And in behind, and out it goes for a Coventry throw-in. Didn't quite reach Marcus Rashford, that pass from Wan-Bissaka. Throw-in to O'Hare. Van Evik can't quite find Sheaf. Giving away here. Now Mainu shields the ball away from O'Hare, then plays it forward down the left, but no one's making a run. Seems like everyone for United went inside. No one stayed on the outside. It's now Van Evik for Coventry. Takes on Bruno Fernandes and McTominay. What a run this is. And across to the left it goes to Bidwell. Really good from Van Evik, who they brought in the summer from Herenveen. £3.4 million as Bidwell down the line for right. He's onside it, but Dalot gets there first towards the corner flag. He backheels it. It's a risky backheel, but Casemiro gets there. Comes off Bidwell to Sims in the area. Can't chest it back to Bidwell, or he can. Or McTominay slid in. Catches Bidwell. Free kick here for Coventry, about 25 yards out, just to the left-hand side of the box. So it's an angle for a right-footed taker. There's no need for McTominay to dive in like that. Unnecessary. And they've got a defender free kick now. And this is a great shooting opportunity, or possibly a crossing chance for Coventry. So, Manchester United set up their wall. It's Van Evik and Bidwell stood over it, so the two wing-backs for Coventry. I mean, it's got to be a shot. Anana stood rather centrally in his goal, so it might be difficult to beat him from this range. It'll be Bidwell to take it. He will shoot straight at the wall. And out it goes for a Coventry throw-in. Bit of a waste there altogether. For Coventry, not his best free kick there from Jake Bidwell, who made his 100th Coventry appearance last time out in that 3-0 away defeat to Birmingham. As he throws it back here to Sheaf, sorry. Now to Lati Baudia. He has to go back once more to the goalkeeper Collins. Good pressing here from Hoyland. Now with the right centre-half is Bobby Thomas. Forwards for Sheaf. His touch isn't great, sends him down the line, and he can't quite chase that and keep it in. So Josh Eccles, sorry, with that heavy touch. What a moment it is for Josh Eccles, the Coventry central midfielder. Joined at the age of 7. Now 24. Oh, he scored twice, though. For Coventry. It's Manchester United on the ball. Midway inside their own half it. With Casemiro, goes long and in behind for Garnacho. It's a brilliant run if he's onside. The goalkeeper comes and collects the ball and then drops it as he was running out of his box. Smart goalkeeping. Cleared out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. The last thing that Coventry need is getting their goalkeeper sent off. He did well there to just drop that in time. Throwing down the line. Hoyland touches it into for McTominay. Tackled though by Sheaf. It's Coventry back on the ball here. In the 18-yard box. Big kick forward out to the right to Van Evik. Brilliant touch. Now he's on the halfway line. And he goes back into Sheaf in the midfield. O'Hare, who they need to get more into the game because he can be someone who unlocks this Manchester United defence. Coventry's number 10. Sheaf finds the central centre-back here of Lati Baudia. Now Kitchen. All the way back to Brad Collins. It was also at Barnsley, like Kitchen, last season, where they suffered that playoff defeat in the final to Sheffield Wednesday as Coventry go long. It's an aimless ball down the right-hand side, and straight behind it goes out for a Manchester United goal kick. 10 minutes left to play this first half. It's been, as you would expect, all Manchester United. McTominay with the goal, who for a long time was Manchester United's top goal scorer in the league, but that has been taken off him by Bruno Fernandes, who's on 8, and McTominay's level on 7 with the likes of Garnacho and Rashford in the Premier League. Rashford, loose ball in the midfield, and it's picked up here by Bidwell. Back to the goalkeeper, Collins, who will clip it out to the right-hand side here. Van Ewijk can keep it in, and he finds Sheaf, who then kicks the ball off Mainu. And that'll be throwing for Coventry, inside their own half here on the near side. So Van Ewijk with the ball in his hands. Taken and headed on to O'Hare. Tackled by Maguire, kept in by Van Ewijk. Gets there ahead of Rashford and lifts it to O'Hare. Sims is into his left, but Casemiro comes in with a huge sliding challenge. Played really well so far, Casemiro at centre-back. I know it's Coventry and they're in the Championship, but he's doing the job that he's needed to do. So you can't take that away from him. Sheaf in the middle of the park for Coventry. Everyone behind the ball for Manchester United. Van Ewijk on this near side. 1-2 with O'Hare. Sheaf. O'Hare back to Van Ewijk now on halfway. As United keep forcing Coventry back. It's really good pressing from Manchester United, because every time that they do get the ball, Coventry, just back they go almost instantly. Sheaf on the edge of the box. Goes out to the left there. It's a good ball as well, that. It's a really good ball. And Coventry can go forward now. Bidwell's forward to the left. And Kitchen tries to find him, but the pass is short. Intercepted by Dalot. And McTominay can move it on for Fernandes, who's just drifting out to this left-hand side. Takes it beyond the halfway line. And has to slow the game down completely. Allows everyone in a Coventry shirt to get behind the ball. Just seems a bit unnecessary, that, from Fernandes, to slow that down the way he did. Mainu shifts it into the centre circle here with Casemiro. Across to his left to Harry Maguire. 3 goals for him in the FA Cup. 2 of them in the colours of Manchester United. You might remember that goal he did score against Tranmere back in 2020. An absolute thunderbolt in the top right corner. Bit of a different pitch he's playing on today. Here at Wembley. Still with United on the ball. Just inside their own half. Left back, Wan-Bissaka. 1-2 with Rashford. Now back into Harry Maguire. Forward to Fernandes. Can't turn. Stopped by Thomas, who slips it through for Sims. Sims running at Casemiro. Sims can hold it up. Brazilian does slow him down, but he can play it back here to Eccles. Midway inside the United half, and Coventry slow it down themselves. Manchester United can get players behind the ball, and we know what happens when United get behind the ball. They usually force Coventry back, but they've gone forward here. Eccles taking on Wan-Bissaka in the box. Eccles on the angle, puts it across, and it's a big block from Dalot. Cleared by McTominay. That's the biggest chance of the game so far for Coventry. Such a good run by Eccles to take on Wan-Bissaka, but the chance could come back for them. Thomas flicked on by Wright, gets the return from Sims, and then as Wright heads it on, it's into the hands of Andre Onana. Huge opportunity for Coventry. It was a run from Eccles and the ball across. It's so teasing, and Sims almost gets there. It's so good from Dalot. Almost a tap-in for Sims, who's on absolute fire this season in 2024. But it was taken off him there by Diogo Dalot on his 150th Manchester United appearance. Wan-Bissaka on this near side into the Coventry half. Goes inside to McTominay. Then back to Rashford, who has to turn away from O'Hare. Rashford goes forward, though. Then finds Wan-Bissaka. Then into McTominay. 25 yards from goal. Wants to switch it to Garnacho on the right. Header away by Bidwell. Only as far as Casemiro. So Manchester United can regain the ball in the Coventry half hit. It's like Garnacho on the right wing. Taking it away from Sheaf and from O'Hare. Then out to the left here to Fernandes. Got Rashford once more. But he goes to Garnacho instead, who's drifted out to the left wing himself. And eventually laying off to Rashford in the corner of the box, who crosses in with a deflection. And it's into the hands of Brad Collins for Coventry, who takes too long. And eventually rolls out with Liam Kitchen on the edge of the box. Sheaf to Latibaldia. And Sheaf keeps the ball moving here to Thomas. Back to Collins in the 6-yard box. Højlund closing him down. Goes to the left here to Latibaldia, who leaves the 18-yard box and lifts it forward to the halfway line. Headed forward by Dalot. Straight to Mainu, who will go forward himself. Nutmeg Sheaf, but can't get away from Kitchen. But the kick only goes as far as Dalot. And across to Wan-Bissaka. Now Garnacho stayed out on this left-hand side. Finds Wan-Bissaka again, just outside the box at the moment. Onto his right foot. Goes behind him to Garnacho. He's been forced away from goal here by Eccles. And it's back all the way to the halfway line to Casemiro. Good press in there from Josh Eccles. Garnacho still on this left wing. Brings in Mainu. Closed in on half-time. 3 minutes till the break. United lead. McTominay with the goal. Wan-Bissaka into Rashford in the box. Just loses out to Bobby Thomas. Cleared by Latibaldia. Headed back forward by Maguire. Brought down by Fernandes into Dalot. Forward to Højlund. Takes it on the turn. On the edge of the box. Højlund will strike. Blocked. And drops here to Eccles for Coventry. Then back to Bobby Thomas. Switches it to the left. It's a brilliant ball. Controlled by Bidwell. He goes back to Kitchen. And it's the Championship side on the ball in their own half on this far side now with Bidwell. It's now with the number 4, Bobby Thomas, who came through at Everton at youth level and Crewe before finding a home at Burnley, which he left for £2 million in the summer after 2 loan spells last season in League One. Bobby Thomas with Bristol Rovers and Barnsley. It's Eccles on halfway. High ball out to the left to Bidwell. Heads it inside for right. So Coventry forward now in the United half. Bidwell. Back to Kitchen. Sheaf. So O'Hare, who's brought himself out to the left-hand side. It's now on halfway again with Kitchen. Back it goes to Latibaldia. Into the centre circle with Thomas. And then all the way back to the goalkeeper of Collins, who just kicks it forward and high up towards Sims, who will try and challenge Maguire, but it's a free header in the end for United's number 5, but it's straight to Thomas, so Coventry have it again. And a ball in behind here towards Hadji Wright, over hit into the hands of Anana. You feel like there definitely will be opportunities for Coventry in this game. They've just got to try and keep the game at 1-0 for now. Definitely can't fall behind with a second goal. Maguire. Loads of time on the ball. Dalot coming in from full-back into a midfield position. And he relays it back into Maguire. Less than a minute of the first 45 to go. Fernandes on the centre circle spot. Goes to his right to Dalot. It's now with Rashford, who's not swapped back over yet with Garnacho. Fernandes in behind for Dalot as he timed his run. We'll have to wait and see. The flag will stay down. Dalot on the byline. In the box, waiting for his options. He lays it off for Rashford, who latches onto it, and that's a brilliant save. Tipped over the bar from Brad Collins. The flag stays down. Rashford, all alone, just allowed to run onto it and shoot. Didn't do a lot wrong there, Rashford. Side foot, curling it into the top right corner. But Collins got his right arm up and tipped it over the bar. Really good goalkeeping to keep his side in it right before the break. One minute of added on time here. Outswinger for United towards Harry Maguire. And there's the second. It's the worst time for Coventry to concede. But Manchester United have scored their second. Harry Maguire with his third of the season. They've all come in different competitions. This one's in the FA Cup semi-final. And it's devastating for Coventry right before half-time. Fernandes with the delivery. Maguire on his own. And he heads it into the right-hand side of the goal. No chance for Collins. Buried by Maguire. Sims tried to put some pressure on Maguire aerially. But once Sims had got up, it was too late. Maguire was powering the header home. They just needed to get in at half-time at 1-0 Coventry. But they've been breached again, this time from a set piece. And right on half-time, it's Coventry 0, Manchester United 2. Back underway with the goalkeeper Collins. Clips it forward to the halfway line, and that's where the referee Rob Jones will blow for half-time here at Wembley. As you would expect, it's been all Manchester United in the possession. And they've been able to score 2 goals, and they've both come from McTominay and Maguire. McTominay's was scored in the 23rd minute. A cut back or a ball across the box from Dalot reached McTominay at the far post, a tap in from a couple yards out as the cross went underneath the goalkeeper. And as we were aiming towards a half-time result of 1-0, Coventry couldn't quite keep their door closed. Maguire burst through that door and made it 2-0 from a corner, put in by Fernandes. Header won by Maguire just in front of the penalty spot into the bottom right corner. The goalkeeper Collins unmoved after making a fabulous save just before it for the corner on Rashford. And for Coventry, they've done absolutely nothing going forward, really, on the whole. They had one opportunity at 1-0 just before the break themselves. A ball across the box by Eccles was dealt with by Dalot as it was almost a tap-in for Sims. But other than that, Coventry have done very little. It's been all Manchester United. They've scored 2 goals here, and it puts them ahead at half-time at Wembley. It's Coventry 0, Manchester United 2. It's just exactly what Manchester United need to do at the moment. They've not made it difficult for themselves. They've dominated the ball. They've been creating chances. They've been very patient as well, which is something that they need to do in a game like this. They can't rush anything, leave spaces in behind, and they've done really well. Like I said, I know it's Championship Coventry who aren't in great form, but Casemiro has definitely had a solid game at the centre-back position for Manchester United. And Maguire on the other side of him, scoring right before the break, which is a brilliant time to score. It's his 10th Manchester United goal for Harry Maguire. 3rd for them in the FA Cup. And it's just desperately disappointing for Coventry to concede right before half-time. Seems like it's going to be a bit too much of an ask maybe for them to try and turn this game around at 2-0 down now. Does look like we're going to get a repeat of last year's final. Manchester derby it will be. For Manchester United, they were 1-0 down in 13 seconds in that one. They won't want a repeat of that if they are to reach the final once again. But overall, in the cup competitions, it is Manchester United do really well under Ten Hag. They won the League Cup last season, got to the FA Cup final. Then this season they were knocked out early in the League Cup in the 4th round to Newcastle. But it looks like they're going to be reaching another FA Cup final. So overall, it's rather successful for Ten Hag at Manchester United in cup competitions. But as I've said, it's just the best time to score for Manchester United. Right on half-time. Just poor marking as well, though, from Coventry, allowing Harry Maguire to pretty much win the free header. That's what happens when you go zone up. You can easily lose a man here and there. And like I say, as Sims was going for the header, it was always too late. Maguire was already up, headering that ball into the back of the net. And it'll be some miracle work for Coventry if they turn this around and get back into this game. At 1-0, you've definitely got belief. At 2-0, it just seems a long way back for them. So I'm going to take a quick break for half time. I'll be back in about 10 minutes as I'll bring back live commentary of this FA Cup semi-final, where currently it's Coventry 0, Manchester United 2. We are back for the second half here at Wembley as Manchester United have a 2-goal lead against Championship Coventry for a place in the final against Manchester City. So we could have a repeat of last year's final, which helped Manchester City along to win their treble, matching that of Manchester United's. There is Erik ten Hag, who won 2 cups, whilst at Ajax, alongside 3 league titles and 1 Super Cup. He has the 1 trophy to his name at Manchester United, which was that League Cup last season in that final win against Newcastle. Here come the Coventry team, who just needs to be more attacking. That might leave spaces. They might go and concede a third, but they've got to go for this at least. They were not a threat at all going forward, not even on the break. They had that one chance at 1-0 where, in all honesty, it definitely could have been in. The ball across the box by Eccles after making a great run into the box, getting beyond Wan-Bissaka, and it was just taken off Sims by Dallo with some great defending at the far post. So it's a lot for Coventry to do, but if they can somehow turn this around, it'll be one of the all-time great FA Cup semi-finals. As it'll be Coventry to kick off, kicking right to left, Manchester United left to right, both now attacking towards their own supporters. It'll be Callum O'Hare of Coventry to kick us off. He plays it back here to Sheaf. Then out to the right side here of Lati Baldia. And now to the goalkeeper of Collins. To the right centre half here of Bobby Thomas. High ball forward, won back by Mainu on halfway, keeping it away from Ellis Sims. And it's now Casemiro to go to Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. 119 times now Andre Onana has played for Erik ten Hag. Bought into Manchester United for just under £44 million from Inter Milan, where he won the cup with them last year alongside that Champions League final. Still United in their defensive third here with Harry Maguire. Goes into McTominay and then back to Onana. Still Onana being closed down here by Sims. Plays the pass to the edge of the area to Mainu, just about reaches him ahead of O'Hare. And it's now midway inside the Manchester United half with McTominay. Goes to the right centre half of Casemiro. Forced to go back to Onana as he was being closed down there by Haji Wright. Maguire lifts it forward to the halfway line to Fernandes. He heads it backwards to Mainu, who's now in the centre circle. Lays it off behind him to McTominay, who then curls it out to the right-hand side here to Dallo. Now to McTominay again. Sees the switch out to the left-hand side. It's a brilliant ball. Rashford can control it nicely in the final third. Running at Lati Baldia. Rashford onto his right foot in the box. Pokes it through. Can't find Højlund. Cleared for Coventry. Only as far as Mainu. Straight back forward to Fernandes, who will strike it, and it's just gone wide. That would have been some goal from Bruno Fernandes from the edge of the box. On his right foot. Trying to bend it into that far corner. If he was just able to bend on it, that would have gone in. It's just gone straight. It's just not curled in. And that is just whiskers away from the post. Behind it goes for a Coventry goal kick. That was almost 3 right after half time. What an attempt though from Bruno Fernandes, who scored a worldie of a goal against Liverpool recently in that 2-2 draw against them in the Premier League. It's Coventry on the ball, near side. Haji Wright, midway side of the United half, not got many teammates around him. Finds Sheaf, the captain. He has to go backwards here to O'Hare. Bit of time on the ball, forward to Sims. Maguire follows him, but Sims can keep it. Goes back to Sheaf. It's now out to the left to Bidwell. Sheaf again. Across to the right centre half here of Thomas into the United half. Fernandes is chasing him. But he'll play it to Van Eevik. Then on once more here to Lati Baldia. Can they get the cross in? It's a low one. Comes off the trailing leg of Maguire. It's a throw for Coventry right next to the corner flag. on the far side. Throwing taken. O'Hare gets it back to Latibaldia. O'Hare into Van Evik. Just loses that to Mainu, who can touch it to Wan-Bissaka, who now clears down the line here for Rashford. Inside to Bruno Fernandes. Then to Højlund. Now to Rashford in front of him. And Rashford's got room to run into here. Ball just goes behind him, but he can keep it away from Sheaf. Rashford bundled down. Free kick given. Just outside the box to the left-hand side. Sheaf brings Rashford down. And there is Sir Jim Radcliffe. Ran the London Marathon today before arriving to watch his side lead this semi-final as it stands. So it's a bit far out in terms of a wide angle for a shot. So more unlikely be a Bruno Fernandes cross here. It is a three-man Coventry wall. Fernandes will lay it off for Rashford, who will strike it. It's blocked from Latibaldia, headed forward by Ellis Sims, who's been knocked over by Mainu. And that's a free kick for Coventry as his header went right beyond the Coventry players to a Manchester United player. So they'll have the free kick instead, and it's with their right centre-half here of Thomas. High ball forward, in behind looking for Van Evik, who can't quite bring it down. Throw-in for Manchester United. As Højlund chases the ball down the left-hand side, dealt with by Kitchen, put in the air by Latibaldia, headed on by Sheaf, headed away by Fernandes, volleyed forward by Latibaldia, brought down by McTominay, who can just about keep it away from O'Hare and right. And he plays it out to the right to Garnacho. Good play from McTominay. Garnacho helps it on once more to Dallo, who can get away from Kitchen. Garnacho's in. He goes behind him instead to Fernandes, who will then cross it to the far post towards Rashford. Dealt with, but the pass was there for Garnacho. Wrong decision from Dallo, who's already got an assist tonight. Casemiro down the right flank to Dallo, midway inside the Coventry half. Finds McTominay. And then back to Casemiro once again. Top scorers in the FA Cup this season, Coventry, from the third round onwards. Scoring plenty of goals. The Championship side, 19 all together. But sides from the top flight have lost each of their last 6 FA Cup semi-finals. So the last team to beat a team from the top flight who have been in the leagues below was Cardiff in 2008. So we've not seen many upsets in FA Cup semi-finals, as there's a shot towards goal for Coventry, dragged well wide by the captain Sheaf from the edge of the area. Not his best attempt. Slight error though from Maguire. It fell to Sheaf, just dragging that about 10 yards wide there in the end. Not his best attempt. So yeah, like I say, sides from below the top flight have lost each of their last 6 semi-final games. Most recently, Sheffield United of the Championship back then were beaten 3-0 by Manchester City. So it's an Onana goal kick in his all green jersey for the Premier League side. Clips out to the left to Wan-Bissaka, lets it run through for Rashford, who's still in his own half. Goes back to Maguire. It's now McTominay. Goes to the edge of the area here to Casemiro. Plays it forward to the halfway line to Fernandes, who lets it run through and he runs beyond Kitchen, but can't beat Bobby Thomas to it. Who clips it forward. It's a high ball. It's headed down by Mainu, kept in by Dallo, but tackled by Bidwell. Kicks it straight through to Casemiro, who clears it down the right-hand side. Helped on by Fernandes. Garnacho will chase it down here. Thomas is the one battling with him, and Thomas wins it really well. Shoves him to the ground. Coventry can try and attack if possible. Bobby Thomas to the right wing back here of Van Evik. Forward to Sheaf. It's now with Van Evik. One-on-one with Wan-Bissaka. Van Evik into the final third. Still back here to Latibaudia. Eccles. Kitchen in a more central area for Coventry. Works it to the left here to Bidwell. Outside the area. He crosses in all the way through towards Van Evik. Helped behind by Wan-Bissaka. Better from Coventry. First chance they've really got forward in the game in the second half. I know Sheaf had that drag shot before, but was never really a threat there. Got in front of Wan-Bissaka there, Van Evik, so the United defender's done well just to get his foot around him and kick that ball out of play for a corner. Could have been a lot worse there for the Premier League side. Cross goes in from Bidwell. In-swinger. Kitchen wanted to win the header, but Maguire's the one who heads it away instead. Sheaf can try and recycle it in the box. Low cross, well dealt with by Wan-Bissaka. And it falls through for Fernandes away from Latibaudia. The break's on. Garnacho's away. And he can't find him. Tried to go in behind. Dealt with by Eccles. Really good defending, because that would have been 3. And that would have been game over. Eccles on halfway. Try to slip it through for O'Hare. It bounces off Mainu. Back to Kitchen. So Coventry can keep it, but that was almost the defence splitting pass Coventry have been looking for. Eccles goes to his right to Latibaudia. And once more to Van Evik. Everything to his left now as he can cross the ball in towards Sims. Header away by Maguire. Collected by Fernandes. Shifts it to McTominay, who goes to the right back position here. Casemiro's just going to launch it forward. Straight to the chest of Latibaudia on halfway. So Coventry can try and come again if possible. Kitchen out to the left there to Bidwell, about 5 yards inside the United half. Wants to go forward. He'll try and go forward to Sims. Tackled well by Casemiro. Now McTominay, loose ball into the midfield. Picked up by Eccles, who will keep running with the ball and tries to play it out to the right to Van Evik. But it's cut out by Wan-Bissaka. It's now with Fernandes in the Coventry half. Rashford at left wing, running at Latibaudia. Rashford with it. Heavy touch forward, poked away from him by Thomas. Played inside now for Coventry to Sheaf, who can get beyond McTominay. Heavy touch though from Sheaf, and it's a boot away by Casemiro. Throwing for Coventry. Almost got through there. Sheaf, who's grown into the game, it must be said, the Coventry captain. So they're going to have to change something shortly here, Coventry. As Mark Robbins is in current conversation with one of his assistants, Dennis Lawrence. It's now on the near side for Coventry. Back into the midfield here to Sheaf. O'Hare. Back it goes to his goalkeeper, Collins. Bobby Thomas just inside the box. Back to Collins. Forward to Sheaf. Out wide right to Thomas. Down the line to Van Evik. Finds Eccles. Not bad football this from Coventry. Eccles forward for Sims. Allowed to control and plays it to his right to Van Evik. Coventry have got bodies forward here. Van Evik puts it to the far post to Hadji Wright. Chests it down. Keeps it away from Dallo. Hadji Wright with it on the edge of the box. Lays it off for Eccles. Back to Wright. And then to Latibaudia, who will go to the far post there to Bidwell, who can keep it in. But Dallo can clear away. Straight to Garnacho, who can get around one Coventry player. And United are in the centre circle with Bruno Fernandes. Brings it forward. Options left and right and down the middle. Goes to the left to Rashford. Into the box. On his left foot. Tries to get onto his right. Well defended by Latibaudia, but it drops to Fernandes, who will shoot himself. And he deflects beyond the Coventry goalkeeper. And that is the FA Cup sorted out for the final. It'll be another Manchester derby. There's Manchester United lead by 3-0. Just as Coventry were starting to grow into the game a little bit more. Manchester United have burst their bubble, brought them right back down to earth, and they lead 3-0. Just a poor giveaway in the final third from Coventry on the left-hand side with Bidwell. And then Rashford, who just overran that tackle by Lati Baldia, but the touch from the Coventry centre-half fell to Bruno Fernandes, who in the box on the left-hand side got onto the left foot, tried to shoot across goal, came off the inside of the leg of Bobby Thomas. Beyond Collins, who was already diving the opposite way. Snuck in at the near post. And here at Wembley, it's Coventry 0, Manchester United 3. Like I said, I don't think Coventry were exactly playing in a way that you could see them scoring, but they were just playing a little bit better than they had in the first half. But that's just Manchester United's quality shining through there with half an hour to play. They have a 3-goal lead. Bruno Fernandes with it, who scored 3 times now in the FA Cup. He hadn't scored since the 4th round against Newport. He's back on the score sheet again today, and he's been in the goals recently, Bruno Fernandes. Scoring plenty, 5 in his last 5 in the Premier League. As Van Evik tries to cross for Coventry. Comes off Wan-Bissaka. It's another corner for Coventry. And even though it's 3-0, I'm sure Coventry will still try and go for this. Try and score a goal if they can. Got nothing to lose now. It's going to be another in-swinger from Bidwell with his left foot. They surround the 6-yard box. It's a deeper one towards Kitchen. Header won by Maguire. Sheaf with the shots, and it just bounced up on him. And he couldn't quite keep it down over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick for Manchester United. You do look like they're going to be reaching their 22nd FA Cup final. That'll be the most that anyone's ever played in an FA Cup final. No club has featured more. Does look like Coventry will make changes, probably just a freshen up because they've done a lot of pressing, a lot of running today. Because Manchester United have kept the ball well all together. Rashford on halfway, far side, slowing the game down, going back to Wan-Bissaka, into Mainu, then back out to the left here to Rashford, who can keep the ball in, and then it's Garnacho who's drifted across to chase the ball down the line, but it's dealt with by Thomas, clips it down the line, up towards O'Hare, header won though by Mainu, flipped forward by Fernandes to Wan-Bissaka, who takes on one player but can't take on a second. But it's been pulled back for a foul there as Bruno Fernandes played it through for Wan-Bissaka. He was just caught. So Bruno Fernandes to cross this in from the left-hand side, about midway inside the Coventry half. Obviously too far to shoot, but opportunity for a cross here. He'll put it into the far post where Casemiro's all alone. Heads it across. Garnacho with a volley. Deflects to Maguire, who puts it over the bar. Couldn't quite stab it home to get his second of the game, Harry Maguire. Casemiro made the run at the far post. All alone he was. Found Garnacho on the penalty spot. His shot was blocked. Dropped to Maguire's 8 yards out. But just got under it in the end. 3 changes here for Coventry. Liam Kitchen to be replaced by number... Can't quite see what number that was. Number 2, Louis Binks, who's on loan from Bologna for the season. Second change. Not quite sure. Not really showing. So we know Binks is on for Kitchen. Eccles has come off for Victor Torp. And Lati Baldia replaced by Fabio Tavares. So it looks like it'll be a back 4 hit for Coventry. Maybe trying to play a bit more expansive as Sims touches it into O'Hare, then out wide. Can't quite find Hadji right. Too far wide in the end there, the American. It's United back on the ball with 27 minutes left to play. The 3-0 up hit. Wan-Bissaka tackled fairly by Sheaf. forward to Sims. O'Hare takes over. Fernandez back, covering at left back. O'Hare will hold it up. Finds Tavares, who scored twice against Maidstone in the 5th round. First pass deflects back to him. Now Van Evik. Back it goes to Sheaf and across to Thomas. Bit of possession for Coventry in the Manchester United half. Tavares running at Wan-Bissaka. A couple of step overs. Tavares will cross it. Deflects off Wan-Bissaka. Into the side netting. Corner kick again for Coventry. They've had a couple of these in the second half. Good start there for Fabio Tavares. Fresh off the bench for Coventry. Portuguese forward. Crossing again from Bidwell. Header won again by Maguire. To the edge of the box to Garnacho. Controls, loses it to Torp, who will strike from afar. Good block from Casemiro. Cleared away in the end for United. Up towards Fernandez on the left-hand side. Who can help it on to Garnacho. Who can run at Van Evik. Garnacho with the ball. Into the final third. Rashford's in the middle. Garnacho overcooks the cross. And behind it goes for a goal kick for Coventry. With 25 to play. Manchester United are now going to make a change. And it'll be Alejandro Garnacho, who came off at half-time against Bournemouth in their last Premier League game. And he'll be replaced by Anthony for Manchester United. Anthony's 2 goals this season have both come in the FA Cup. His first was away at Newport and then scored in the quarter-final against Liverpool to make it 2-2 late on to send the game to extra time. Sorry about that, just some noise in the house. It's a Manchester United throw-in though, left-back position for Wan-Bissaka. Coventry tried to go over the top there and in behind for Tavares, but overhit the pass there, the captain Sheaf. So it's a Manchester United throw-in, in their own half. Cleared forward towards Hoyland, dealt with by Thomas. It's now with Torp, the substitute, who was replaced in the starting 11 tonight, as he did start the last championship game against Birmingham. Now with Tavares, can't quite get away from Wan-Bissaka, who at left back has the ball, goes back to the goalkeeper Onana, who has to clear it first time left-footed, up towards Hoyland, who can't quite find a red shirt with his touch. It's now out to the right again for Coventry here with Tavares. 1-2 with Torp, and here is the midfielder, turns away from Mainu. Torp has it, finds O'Hare in the corner of the box, he goes down the right-hand side. They try and get this in the box if possible. Van Evik. 1-2 with O'Hare. And into Torp. Touches it through. Keeps it away from Wan-Bissaka for now. Torp on the Coventry right. Back to Van Evik. It's now with Sheaf. Playing it through for Tavares, who's onside. Got the overlap of Van Evik, and he'll play it into his path. And he'll cross it. O'Hare with the diving header at the near post. Not known for his heading. Callum O'Hare at 5'9", and that one's gone over the top of the crossbar, and I think it was going wide as well. Not bad though from Coventry. It's definitely been a better second half for them, that's for sure. Going forward a bit more. Maybe still not being as much as a threat, but just find themselves in better areas, putting Manchester United under a little bit of pressure. As United build out from the back, edge of the box. Dallo to Maguire. Goes big and goes in behind, and it's almost an inch perfect ball there for Marcus Rashford. With a quarter of the game to go, it's a Coventry throwing in their own half. Van Evik to Tavares. Back to Van Evik. Deflects off Rashford. Another throw for the Championship side. Switch from Sheaf. It's a brilliant ball to Bidwell. Beyond the halfway line. Anthony's chasing him down. Bidwell will keep it. And he goes back here to Binks. Across to his right to Thomas. It's now with the right back Van Evik to Tavares. Back to Van Evik again. All Manchester United players are currently behind the ball. Sheaf lifts it down the line. It's a nice ball. Tavares holds it up on Wan-Bissaka right next to the corner flag now. Tavares, some nice tidy feet. Plays it back eventually to Van Evik, who slips on the ball but can find Tavares, gets back to his feet and then gets the ball back here. Van Evik needs to get the cross right. It's a low one. O'Hare gets it from under his feet, tries to take on Maguire, goes down, seen behind for a goal kick. No complaints there from Callum O'Hare. Getting close to though Coventry with 20 minutes to play. Not a bad run there from O'Hare, who just didn't quite have the strength there. On Maguire to quite get beyond the United number 5. Wan-Bissaka loses it on halfway to Torp, who can only find Mainu in a red shirt. So if Maguire back to Onana towards the byline, he'll just clear it first time, left-footed up to the halfway line, header won by Bobby Thomas. Finds O'Hare, great control. And then out to the right wing to Tavares, who will deliver the cross into Ellis Sims, who puts it back into the back of the net. And could we have the comeback? It's definitely been better from Coventry this second half, more so in the last 5 or so minutes since the triple change. And the fans are up for it, and they've got one back. Ellis Sims, it just has to be him. 19 goals now for the season for Ellis Sims. 16 of them in 2024. He's now got 6 in 6 in the FA Cup. Tavares with the ball in. Sims on his own, in between Maguire and Casemiro. He was just a bit behind him, but was able to get his body shape right, to get his foot around the ball, and it was a bit of a shinner, but squeezed itself into the bottom right corner. Yeah, off the shin pad it looks like. And beyond Onana, not much he could have done about it. In Coventry, we're back in the game. It's 3-1. I mean, imagine. Could we? Could we? We'll have to wait and see, but it is 3-1 for now. Got 18 and a half minutes to play. Changes made for Manchester United, and it's Christian Eriksen to come on here for Kobbie Mainoo. So Eriksen on. Just made one appearance in the last 11 in the Premier League. Eriksen's been used very little at the moment as an unused substitute. Came off the bench in his only FA Cup appearance against Liverpool in the quarter-final. So Coventry might fancy this. As it is, Coventry on the ball, halfway line. Down the right-hand side to Bobby Thomas. Thighed into O'Hare, who will drive forward, just overruns it. Tackled by Casemiro, who loses out to Sims, but he deflects to Fernandes. Casemiro can eventually get it away. Up towards Anthony, who loses out to Bidwell. Taught back to Thomas. It's sold him short. And then a ball through to Fernandes from Anthony, but it's well dealt with by Collins out of his 18-yard box to clear it. Throw in for United on the halfway line on that far side. Rangers 2, Hearts 0, as that's how it's ended, because it looks like we're going to be getting an old firm derby, aren't we, in that Scottish Cup. Dessers with 2 goals. That's nice to see. I like Dessers. When I've seen him play recently, he's been very isolated up front for Rangers, who have slipped off a bit, haven't they, with that result in the week against Dundee, when they eventually got that game played. So 17 minutes to go. Manchester United are on the ball. Maguire going for the switch out to the right back Dallo. It's a risky pass, but he will reach Dallo. Touch in front of him. Loses out to Hadji Wright. Told to get up by the referee Rob Jones. Now inside to Torp. 1-2 with Sheaf. Torp looking down the left-hand side now. Playing a pass through for Hadji Wright. Just intercepted by Casemiro, who is in there. That could have been the pass to get the goal, to get it to 3-2, but it could be 4-1 instead as United break. Anthony in a central area, plays it to his right here, to Ericsson. Into the box for Rashford, bit of time, can he work a shot? He can just about keep it, as he's gone to the right wing position here, Rashford. And he crosses in, caught by Collins. Should have gone to Ericsson, but wanted to go on his own instead. Collins launches it forward for Coventry, up towards Sims, who's battling with Maguire, and Maguire wins the header, and Fernandes goes back to Casemiro. Well dealt with there by Maguire, because Sims can be a handful with the amount of goals he scored this season, especially in the new year. Ellis Sims, who's brought in from Everton for an initial fee of £3.5 million, but can rise to 8 with add-ons. So United on the ball. Really appreciate these score updates, mate. I have got them on my phone, in fairness. Because I know Fulham and Liverpool are playing in the Premier League, and that's 0-0 at the moment at Craven Cottage. As Liverpool lead, in fact. Fulham 0, Liverpool 1 in that Premier League fixture. As it's still United with the ball here, with 15 minutes to play. They're in their own half here with Casemiro. Finds Anthony, who's just in front of the halfway line here. Back to Casemiro. Forward to Dallo. Lays it off to his right here to Anthony. And then back to Casemiro. Well, there you go. Alexander-Arnold free kick. Dallo. Into Ericsson, just really taking the sting out of this game, Manchester United. Which is clever. It's the right thing to do, for sure, 100%. Because Coventry were on a bit of momentum when they got that goal. Because they'd played well the 5 minutes before that. Which led to them eventually scoring. Casemiro down the right-hand side, beyond the halfway line. Turning backwards to keep it away from Sims. And eventually works it to Anthony on the right wing. Ericsson. Forward for Dallo. It's now Anthony. Try to slip the ball through for Højlund, who wanted to make the run, then stopped the run, and Anthony still played the ball. So straight through to the Coventry goalkeeper of Collins, who rolls it out to the right centre-back here of Bobby Thomas. Brings it forward, dribbling from centre-half. Then Van Eevik through, down the right wing for Tavares. Maguire will clean up, though, in the defensive third for United. Brilliant from Maguire, who clears it down the line. Headed inside by Rashford, can't find Højlund. Bobby Thomas intercepts, but only as far as Ericsson, as his touch was heavy. And Ericsson can slip it through for Rashford. I think he was offside. Flag stays down and eventually goes up. Yeah, Rashford just gone early. So Coventry back on the ball with Bobby Thomas, the right centre-back. They have done quite well dealing with Højlund, Coventry, but they've just not dealt with everyone around him going forward for Manchester United. But Højlund has not really had a lot to say in the game. Again, they've not needed him to say a lot in the game because the others have done the scoring. But it's just been a bit quiet today. There's Binks, great switch out to the right to Tavares, who can't control it. What a shame, because that was a really good ball from Binks as well. With Tavares already providing one assist for Coventry with the goal for Ellis Sims. As United have got it in the midfield with Ericsson. Into the path of Dallo, who will bring the ball forward into the space of Anthony. He's got Dallo overlapping as he enters the box. On his left foot, shoots, deflects to Van Eevik, and Coventry can try and clear here. Van Eevik out to the left here to Sims, who will get onto the ball. Pretty much on his own on the left wing, but Sims will bring it forward. And the support is arriving. Sims across to the right to O'Hare. Edge of the box. He's going to shoot. It's going to deflect and it's going to go in. Coventry have got another one back. And the comeback is on. Manchester United had their slice of luck with their third goal, which came via a deflection. and Coventry have just had theirs with a huge deflection on the O'Hare shot. But this game and the momentum of it is starting to turn into the favour of the Championship side. What a moment for Callum O'Hare. Sims was bringing it forward on the left wing. He played it across to the right to O'Hare, who had the shot, came off the back of Wan-Bissaka, looped over Onana, and it just went underneath the crossbar and into the back of the net. And this FA Cup semi-final is well and truly back on with just over 10 minutes to play. 3-2 at Wembley, and this game isn't over. Could this be one of the all-time great FA Cup semi-finals if somehow Coventry can turn this around? They've got 10 minutes and added time to do it. They are the leading scorers in the season's FA Cup for a reason. Scored 3 against Wolves in the last round, 5 against Maidstone, 5 altogether against Wednesday, including the replay, 6 against Oxford in the third round, and they've made a change. Bidwell off at left back for De Silva. Hadji right in behind, down the left-hand side, in the box. He'll keep it in, he'll lift it in, but no one's there at the far post to attack it. Wan-Bissaka can clear it, but Van Evik beats Rashford to it. Down the line for Tavares. Wan-Bissaka will get there. He'll be kept in by Tavares. And it'll be Rashford to be tackled by Van Evik. Sheaf with good bit of footwork, and he'll go for the left-footed shot. And it's sky high over the crossbar, but it's momentum that Coventry need to keep, because when they scored last time, they didn't allow, but Manchester United kept the ball well, taking the sting out of the game. But that sting is back in, and it's back on in the game. The Coventry fans, I don't think, can quite believe it. In their first FA Cup semi-final since 1987, the year they went on and won the competition. And this is not going to be a very nice final 10 minutes for Manchester United. Mark Robins looking as calm as ever. The manager of Coventry. As Hoyland heads out of play. Throw in for Coventry on the halfway line on the far side. And it'll be Van Evik to take. 1-2 with O'Hare. Then back to Thomas, who's going to have to chase it down, but Hoyland will get there and he'll drag him down. And that'll be a yellow card for Bobby Thomas. Sometimes you've just got to take yellow cards. And he has. Poor pass back to him by Van Evik. Not really Bobby Thomas's fault, but he's done the right thing of just absolutely dragging down Hoyland. Could not let him in behind there. Not after getting it back to 3-2. That would be a real shame. So United free kick. Chance to deliver this one into the box from the left-hand side via Bruno Fernandes. And then it goes all the way through, and it's well dealt with by Hadji Wright. Had to head behind there because it seemed like that was just going to go all the way through. For I think Casemiro was the one charging towards it. It's going to be another delivery from the right boot of Bruno Fernandes. It's actually going to be Ericsson instead to cross it in, and it'll be Hadji Wright to win another header. This time it's away from goal. Touchdown by Tavares to Hadji Wright. De Silva to O'Hare, and they've got bodies forward here, Coventry. Through to De Silva. Can get away from one side challenge and play it into Tavares on the left wing. Back through for De Silva. Coventry are in here. Cross goes in. Deflects off Maguire. Corner kick. Can they do it? Can they do the comeback of all comebacks in the FA Cup? They are attacking towards that blue wall behind them. It'll be Victor Torp to deliver. Right-footed from this near side. Again, surrounding the 6-yard box. The delivery goes in, and it's gone into the hands of Onana. But we're going to get a retake because the referee blew his whistle. Wants a word with Bobby Thomas and Rasmus Højlund, who was just battling before, where Thomas got his yellow card for pulling back the Danish striker. So, going to be another corner, a retake, 2 arms in the air, to the far post. Header away by Dallow, and that'll go for a Coventry throw-in on the opposite side. So they can keep the momentum, keep the attack flowing. Remember, Newport also did a comeback against Manchester United when Newport were 2-0 down against them in the 4th round, and made it 2-2, but Manchester United did go on and win that 4-2. Van Evik, long throwing, goes in, header won by Maguire. O'Hare helps it forward. Second time with the header. Torp with the volley, what a save that is! Thomas has it, and he just touches it out of play. Really good save from Andre Onana, as Torp hit that sweet as a nut. Dropped him on the edge. Oh, it's a great strike. Just a bit too close to Onana, if we're going to criticise the volley. Not taking anything away from the save, because he's absolutely blasted that. Just a bit too close to Onana. If he's just able to direct it more to the corner, that's going in 100%. So it's still 3-2. Manchester United goal kick. Andre Onana, of course, taking his time with 5 minutes to play. He's been booked as well for his time wasting. Launches it forward. Højlund flicks on nicely. But Van Evik will beat Rashford to the ball. And he'll let it roll out for a Coventry throw. So in a right back position, it's Coventry ball. Throws it down the line. Sheaf controls it. Plays it forward to Sims. Can't quite touch it back through for Sheaf. It's now with Bruno Fernandes. Rashford wants the 1-2. Can't find him. Thomas clears it. Coventry push up the pitch. Sims loses out to Maguire. And McTominay turns on halfway. Really good from McTominay. And he'll keep bringing it forward. He'll keep going, McTominay. On the edge of the area. Goes out to the left to Rashford. It's now Wan-Bissaka. Into McTominay. And into Ericsson. This is where Manchester United will try and kill the momentum again. It's on the halfway line with Ericsson. Maguire into McTominay, then back here into Ericsson. Forcing Manchester United back here, Coventry, to their goalkeeper Onana on the edge of the 18-yard box. Fires it out to the right to Dallow, who can head it down the line here for Anthony, who is dispossessed by Binks. It's now back to Collins, the Coventry keeper. Binks again. Down the line to De Silva. And then back to Binks. And it's Coventry now on the ball. Just over 3 minutes of the 90 to play. Poor-sided on time. Van Evik, the right back. Goes back here into Thomas. Wants to go forward with the pass, and he'll go for a switch out to the left. That's a brilliant pass. What a ball that is. Controlled by De Silva, who goes into Hadji Wright. He wants to cross it. He'll put the ball in, headed into the air by Wan-Bissaka. McTominay helps on. Headed out wide left, though, by De Silva to right. O'Hare. Torp. Back to Binks, and Coventry will build in the Manchester United half. Van Evik tried the 1-2 with Tavares. Deflects into the box, cleared by Wan-Bissaka. Away from right. Headed out to the left by Binks to De Silva. Controls it. Keeps it away from Anthony and turns away from him as well. It's now O'Hare. Midway inside the United half on this near side. Plays it through for De Silva. It's now Torp. Sheaf. O'Hare. Sims just bounces off his leg straight to Fernandes, not to Sheaf. And United will look to counter. Fernandes. Nearly brought down by Binks, but advantage is played. Fernandes still has it. Gets the ball returned to him from Rashford. Fernandes finds Højlund, who can turn. Can't shoot, though. Great tackle. He took too long to shoot Højlund. What an opportunity that is. And the break's on. Sheaf in behind for Hadji Wright. Down the left-hand side. And Onana's coming for it. He takes a big touch out, Onana. And he'll get there and he'll clear it. And straight to the goalkeeper of Collins. Had to get that right. What an opportunity, though, for Rasmus Højlund. who just needed to touch and shoot, but wanted to get it onto his left foot. And it took too long in the end. Big switch out from Coventry again. Tried to reach Tavares. Touchdown to play by Wan-Bissaka. Throw in for Coventry as they aim and they edge closer to the United goal. Now with Tavares. Van Ewijk overlaps him and he finds him in behind. Van Ewijk pulls it back. Hadji Wright shoots. Falls to top on the edge. Can he shoot? Yes, he can. It deflects off Hadji Wright and onto the roof of the goal for a goal kick. Massive opportunity. Torp with the shot. And off Hadji Wright, who tried to move his foot out the way but couldn't do it in time. You feel like there's one more chance in this for Coventry. We'll find out how long will be added on in 45 seconds' time. Goal kick headed forward by Torp for Coventry. Away by McTominay. Back forward by Torp towards O'Hare. Flicked away by Eriksson, who just about works it back to McTominay. He was surrounded by blue shirts there, Eriksson. He's done well to keep the ball for United. It's now with Maguire. To the left back of Wan-Bissaka. He's been forced to go backwards to Onana. On the edge of the 18-yard box. He'll fire it forward low. Cut out by Sheaf. O'Hare to Sheaf. Forward to Sims. We've hit the 90th minute. Sims wants to switch it to the left. 6 added on. Right, lays it down for Hare. Good slide challenge from Casemiro. Works its way to Rashford. It's now with Wan-Bissaka forward to Rashford again, who will just drive with it for Manchester United. Great tackle that is from Sheaf. Sliding in, winning the ball. And he plays it down the right-hand side to Tavares. There's 3 in the box. He's got to get the pass right. Tavares running at Wan-Bissaka, pulling it across, and it's not quite reached Hadji Wright. Cleared by Dalot. 5.5 minutes to play. This game has had absolutely everything. Rashford stayed down after the tackle from Sheaf, which was a fair one. I think Sheaf's been brilliant for Coventry. He was brilliant when they were losing, the captain. He's really stood up for himself as the captain and put in a remarkable performance. Nothing wrong with Rashford. Brilliant tackle. Got the ball as clean as you like. Whatever happens, though, from now until the end of the game, Coventry will be proud. It looks like from midway inside the Manchester United half, they're going to try and launch this in long through Milan Van Ewijk. We're going to get the throw-in taken quickly. We'll play a bit more than the 6 added on. Van Ewijk goes short to O'Hare. Then back to Van Ewijk. Then into O'Hare again, who needs to deliver it. He does cross. Headed away by Eriksson out to the Coventry left, where he'll be chased down by Torp. He'll beat Dalot to it, and he'll get beyond Dalot and plays it down the line for Hadji Wright. Crosses in. What a ball! Oh, it's blocked. And it's a goal kick. Oh, penalty! Oh my word, he's given a penalty. Wan-Bissaka at the far post, blocking the shot. His hands are out. Oh, I don't know. A penalty's been given, and that'll be difficult to overturn. At the far post, a Coventry man won it, kicked it off Wan-Bissaka. I thought he'd pointed for a goal kick, but instead he's gone for a penalty. And what a moment this could be in this FA Cup semi-final. It was Binks who kicked it across. Wan-Bissaka's arm is out there. He tries to tuck it in. I don't know. We did see the Grealish one not given yesterday. So if this is given, Manchester United fans will probably be absolutely raging that this one's been given and the Grealish one wasn't. He definitely strikes the arm. He's tried to tuck it in. He's not been able to get it out of the way. And the penalty's been given. And the penalty has been awarded. Sorry about the noise. It'll be Haji Wright to take it. He has the whole weight of Coventry on his shoulders to complete the comeback of all comebacks in the FA Cup. They did it against Wolves. Now they're doing it against Manchester United. From 12 yards, Haji Wright to make it all square at 3-3. Haji Wright against Onana. Scores for Coventry! And they have equalised in the most dramatic of ways. From 3-0 down to 3-3. Extra time is on. Have you ever seen anything like this? What a collapse. Coventry of the Championship have gone from 3 down to level at 3-3 against Manchester United. What a penalty. Onana went the wrong way. Bottom right corner. Onana went to the left. In fairness, if Onana goes the right way, it's not a great penalty. It's not exactly in the corner. It's quite a nice height. But Onana dived the wrong way. And this is nothing short of incredible. It's Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. And within the last 20 minutes of the game, somehow they have turned it around. This is remarkable. 3-0 down with 20 to play. Thomas clears for Coventry. And it's going to go straight through to Onana. We'll play more than the 6 added on here. With the stoppage for the penalty. Handball from Wan-Bissaka, who in fairness didn't really have many complaints. But I think the United fans will complain with the fact that that was given as a penalty. And the Grealish one yesterday wasn't. We've played the 6 added on. Binks in a left-back position. Goes long for Coventry. Free volley for Casemiro. Headed down by Fernandes. It will not reach Rashford, who's gone down with cramp. He's struggling. And Tavares is through on the right-hand side. There's no way they do it before extra time. Tavares crosses. Sims touches. Shot blocked. And Fernandes can take away. He's brought down by Sheaf. And that is a moment to relax for Manchester United. They almost lost it within the 90 minutes. I don't know if Rashford's pulled a muscle or gone down with cramp, but he had to give up the chase. And Rashford's gone off and walking towards the bench. Rashford's day is done. And he'll be replaced by Amad Diallo. The reason they're in this FA Cup semi-final with his goal against Liverpool in extra time in the quarter-final. But Rashford with cramp can't continue. Off he goes. Long for United. Header won by Binks. Drops to Fernandes. Short ball to Diallo. It's Sheaf to clear down the line. Touched inside by Tavares to O'Hare, who sends it over the top for Sims. He's in behind. Oh, Onana's out to clear. Had to get there, and he did. He kicks it into the air. Fernandes touches it backwards to McTominay. In the end, it drops for O'Hare, who can't quite get it back to his teammate. I think O'Hare's now going down with cramp. Tavares wins it back off Fernandes. Sheaf on the right-hand side. Back to Van Eevik. I don't think Coventry want this game to end. They are the team on top. Van Eevik being forced to go backwards. He spins and clears it forward. In behind, but no one's chasing it for Coventry. And it'll go through to Andre Onana in the Manchester United 18-yard box. And Onana will throw it out to the right centre-half here, Casemiro. We've played 2 extra minutes of the 6. Onana goes long, out to the United right towards Anthony. Header won by Binks. Drops towards Dallo, hooks it over his head towards Amad Diallo. Chests it down, turns away from Sheaf. Amad Diallo, he's away from him. Running at goal. Diallo to his left to Fernandes. Could this be it for Manchester United? Fernandes onto his left foot. Across it goes, comes off Collins and volleyed by Torp. Big clearance, and we continue play. We're still playing at Wembley. It's 3-3 in one of the best FA Cup semi-finals you'll ever see. Diallo trying to make things happen for United, fresh off the bench for Marcus Rashford. Maguire through to the space for Wan-Bissaka, asking a lot of him and asking too much of him. Out for a goal kick. Rashford's ball across, almost reaching Højlund, who would have had a tap in from a yard out. Really good goalkeeper from Collins to get his left foot out to it to kick it away. So it's a goal kick for Coventry as we're nearing towards extra time here. We've had one draw between these two sides in the FA Cup previously, all the way back in January 1913. That one had to go to a replay, and United won the replay. This is no replays. We're going to extra time. As the goal kick's taken up into the sky from Brad Collins. Whistle still not blown. Drops to Casemiro, across to the left there to Diallo. Van Evik's tight to him. Diallo facing his own goal. Still with Diallo, not really got options around him. And he's been tackled by Van Evik. Diallo still has it for now. Back to Onana, who will get there ahead of Sims. Clears it away. And eventually, Rob Jones will blow the whistle. And it's full time here in the FA Cup semi-final. It's finished Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. We are going to extra time. United were 2-0 up at half-time. 2 goals from McTominay and Maguire. And it was made to be 3 just with over a half an hour to play. Bruno Fernandes with a deflected shot. Looked like he'd killed the semi-final off. Not to be. The comeback started with Ellis Sims with the goal. Good crossing from Tavares on the right-hand side. Put it into the bottom right corner. Brilliant finish from Ellis Sims, who's now got 16 goals in the year of 2024. A second was added through Callum O'Hare, a bit like Fernandes with his deflected shot. O'Hare's took a huge deflection off the back of Wan-Bissaka, looped over Onana and into the back of the net, and it couldn't get any more dramatic. A cross into the far post for Coventry, put towards goal by Binks, deflected off an outstretched arm of Wan-Bissaka. The referee, Rob Jones, gave a penalty. It wasn't overturned, and Haji Wright, the man who got the winner against Wolves, scored the equaliser from the spot against Manchester United in this semi-final to put it to 3-3. And at full time, as we go into extra time, it's Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Incredible scenes. Absolutely incredible scenes. The fact that Manchester United have thrown this away is inexcusable. But all the praise has to go to Mark Robins and Coventry. He made a triple change after their third goal, after Manchester United made it 3. And the triple change has worked really well. Tavares has been a constant threat down the right-hand side. Torp's been good in the midfield alongside Sheaf. And they also switched it up, binned off the back 3, went to a back 4. And Manchester United have not been able to cope. And we're going to have extra time here at Wembley. That was just insane. I didn't even know there was a penalty shout. From the camera angle, you just couldn't see it. I thought that Coventry were trying to ask for a corner, not a goal kick, because obviously they were running out of time. But obviously they were claiming for a penalty. And then when Rob Jones pointed towards the spot, I thought he was pointing for a goal kick. But obviously not. He was pointing for a penalty instead. Wan-Bissaka, the man who was in the way of the shot for the deflection for the second goal, and then he's given away the penalty for the third. So not the greatest of last 10 minutes for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I cannot believe what I've seen in that second half. 4 goals altogether. 3 of them for Coventry in the last 25 minutes of the game, because obviously we had about 10 added on there in the end. Only Manchester United. I'm sure of it. Bit too settled, maybe. At 3-0. I mean, you'd almost pardon them for maybe relaxing a little bit, but, at the end of the day, it's Coventry who've put them in their place big time here. And we're going to go to extra time. Manchester United semi-final last season went to extra time as well, and it also went straight to penalties, winning 7-6 from the penalties against Brighton in the end. But I don't think Coventry wanted that game to end. Coventry were the team on top at the end of that game, of course, with the momentum of the comeback. That's going to happen. But for Manchester United, they brought on Eriksen, they've brought on Diallo and Anthony. And other than that, they haven't got really anyone else on the bench of experience. They've got Amari Forson, who's 19. He's played a few times for the first team, 5 altogether. But other than that, they've got 3 teenager defenders, and they've got Ethan Wheatley as a striker, 18 years of age, and he's never made an appearance for the first team. His only ever appearance in the Manchester United squad was in their last game against Bournemouth. So it's not exactly like Manchester United. They've got a lot to turn to on the bench, which is a worry. Coventry made 4 changes in the end. Binks, De Silva, Torp and Tavares. They've still got Matt Godden to come on, striker, if they want to change that up. And in fairness, Hadji Wright has had a bit of a frustrating game on the left wing for Coventry. It's not quite worked out for him, but he stepped up in the biggest moment of them all and scored that penalty. It takes absolute cojones to score a penalty like that. That's his 3rd of the FA Cup. Scored in the replay against Sheffield Wednesday. Scored the winner in the FA Cup quarter-final against Wolves, and now he's got the equaliser here against Manchester United. So we're going to get back underway for the second half, for the first half of the extra time here. I would love to know what Roy Keane's saying, because I mean, I could see him on screen now, and he looks furious. I don't know what he's saying, but he looks absolutely furious. Roy Keane probably cannot believe what he's seeing here. So good from the Coventry manager, Mark Robbins, who switched it up from the back 3 to the back 4. Ian Wright and Karen Carney are absolutely losing it, laughing at Roy Keane. So he's obviously going on a little rant. As in the Premier League, it's Fulham 1, Liverpool 1, goal before half-time by Timothy Castagne. So that means Liverpool would stay 3rd behind Manchester City, a point behind them with a game extra played. But we're going to get underway for this second half of extra time. United kicking left to right. Coventry right to left again, so attacking their home fans again for the first half of this extra time period. That's Diallo on halfway right back. Down the line for Diallo. Running at Binks. Got Diallo making a run ahead of him. Diallo will keep it. Plays out to the left towards Anthony. Lets it run through. And it'll be Tavares to let it run for a throw-in for Coventry. So it looks like Diallo is going to be playing on the right-hand side, and it'll be Anthony playing on the left wing. As it is Milan Van Ewijk with the throw-in for Coventry. Erik ten Hag probably cannot believe his eyes at the moment. As Wan-Bissaka heads away, another throw-in for Coventry. It's now with Bobby Thomas at right centre-back, being closed down by Fernandes. Forward to Sheaf. He's facing his own goal. Goes back to Thomas, then forward to Torp, then back to the edge of the box to Binks. It's really good football from Coventry. Obviously, so much confidence at the moment. De Silva brings it forward from full-back. Lays it off for Hadji Wright. It's now with Victor Torp, 30 yards from goal. Just keeping the ball here for Coventry. Time on the ball for the number 29. He tries to go forward to Hadji Wright, cut out by Diallo. Casemiro has to clear it. Finds Højlund, who holds it up and lays it off into Fernandes. Just goes off the back of his heel, but he can keep it for United in the centre circle. And he goes forward to Anthony. Heavy touch back into his own half to keep it away from Van Ewijk. And it's now Manchester United with a bit of settled possession in their own half here. With Wan-Bissaka having to try and move away from Tavares. Down the line to Anthony. Keeps it in play on the far side, just about in front of the 2 technical areas. And then back to Maguire. Now with the goalkeeper, Anana. Sims will slowly close him down, as Anana will eventually play it to the right back of Diallo. Inside to Casemiro. Now out to the right here to Eriksen. Back to Diallo on the edge of the box. Coventry pressing high. It's been forced back to Andre Onana. You'll find Harry Maguire. Scored the second goal in this semi-final. made it 2-0 for United right before half-time, and it looked like that was going to kill the game. It didn't. We thought the third goal had killed the game. It didn't. Just don't write off this Coventry side. Ericsson, centre circle, forward to Fernandes. Bit loose, can't quite find him. And Van Eevik to the goalkeeper Collins. First time clearance forward, it's a high ball forward. Maguire needs to deal with this, and he'll head it out to the right to Dallo, who will have to volley forward, only as far as Sheaf for Coventry on halfway. And it's the Championship side back on the ball. Slowing it down here, Sheaf. Finding the right back, Van Eevik. Forward to Tavares. Down the line for Sheaf, who's carried on his run. It's a monstrous performance from Ben Sheaf today. Seriously good. And it looks like he's starting to struggle, Sheaf. They don't want to lose him in the midfield, but he might start cramping up soon. Sheaf lifts it down the line for Tavares. Keeps it away from Wan-Bissaka. Tavares battling with Wan-Bissaka. And it's Wan-Bissaka to come out on top with the ball, and then a nutmeg from Fernandes. Ericsson forward to Højlund. Helps it on once more to Anthony. Then down the line for Højlund. It's well dealt with by Bobby Thomas. Booting that ball away. It stayed in as well. And it's Onana who has to come out of his box to chest it away from Sims and clears down the line. And it's been kept in by Onana. Headed to the left by Thomas. Straight to Højlund. What on earth is that header? Diallo's away on the right. Højlund finds him in the box. Amad Diallo on his left foot. Pulls it back. Bruno Fernandes off the bar. Bounces away. They need to clear Coventry. Torp has it. And he'll be De Silva to get it away. Down the left for Hadji Wright. He will chase it down. And he'll keep it in. And he takes it around Casemiro. Hadji Wright in the box. Angles tight, but he overruns it with his touch. And out of play for a goal kick. Bruno Fernandes smashing the crossbar. Really bad giveaway from Bobby Thomas with the header across to his centre-back partner. United counter-attacks, and on the edge of the box, Bruno Fernandes off the underside of the crossbar, and thankfully for Coventry, on the opposite side of the line. And they nearly went up the other end and got a chance of their own, but Hadji Wright's touch just got away from him, and out of play it went. Five minutes played of this extra time period so far, and it's an incredible watch. It's why FA Cup football is the best, and that's why, you know, these teams need to be looked out for. It's not the FA Premier League Cup, it's the FA Cup. So maybe consulting other teams about decisions about the tournament might be worth it for the FA Cup. Obviously, a lot of backlash for their decision to scrap replays. And the fact it was only the 20 Premier League teams that were consulted about it. It's not all about the Premier League teams, because it looks like we might have one knocked out here. So from that challenge with Wan-Bissaka, Fabio Tavares has been struggling since. He's just had to have some medical treatment. That's why we've had a slight pause in the game. Hopefully Tavares for Coventry will be able to continue, because he's been fantastic on that right wing since being introduced with half an hour to play. So we're back underway. Casemiro will bring it out from the back for Manchester United. Tavares still receiving treatment on the far side for Coventry. He's not back on yet. Maguire forward to McTominay in the centre circle. Lifts it out to the right wing to Dallo. Controls it midway inside the Coventry half. Plays it inside to Diallo. Now Dallo. Tavares being waved back on. Wan-Bissaka has it. Finds Anthony. Goes back here to the halfway line to Maguire. Across to Casemiro on halfway, working it away from Sims. It's now with Amad Diallo. Back to Casemiro on halfway. He's going to go long with this one, looking for the run of Fernandes in the box, who will head it towards goal. And he heads it wide. I'm not sure if the flag was raised. Even if it wasn't, I think a VAR check would have took place if anything resulted from that. It's a goal kick anyway for Coventry. Taken short by Collins to Bobby Thomas. From right centre-back, we'll lay it off to his right-back here of Van Eevik. And to the goalkeeper of Collins again. It's now Binks. High ball. forward towards halfway, headed backwards by Dallo towards Sims, who can head it forward himself, but it'll be Casemiro to deal with it. So now with Dallo at right back, just inside his own half, kicks it off Hadji right, throwing for Manchester United. Just the 2 FA Cup wins this century for Manchester United. In 2016 against Crystal Palace and in 2004 against Millwall. They've lost 4 finals this century so far. Obviously most recently against Manchester City, but also lost one in 2018 to Chelsea. Last time they were knocked out of the semi-final stage was to Chelsea in 2020 during the COVID season. Eriksen out to Dallo on the right. Coventry pressing up high as we're in the United half. Eriksen goes into the Coventry half with a ball to Diallo. Can't quite beat Binks to it. Hammered forward by the centre half and it finds Hadji right, who touches it into Sims. To the right wing we go to Tavares. Bit of space for him. Just hesitates and goes back here to Sheaf. The pass is pretty poor, but Sheaf can keep it away from Fernandes, but not from Højlund. And Højlund can just about work it out to the right to Diallo. What a pass that is. And United could score. Diallo in a central area, on the edge of the box. He wants to try and shoot, but Binks is defending against him really well, forcing him out wide. But he will go to Eriksen, who will shoot from afar. Cannons off a Coventry player, straight to Hadji right. Goes back to Hare, then out to the left to De Silva. And it's Coventry back on the ball. Waste there for United. They were in with Diallo, but just worked himself into traffic. And then eventually the Eriksen shot was dealt with. Van Ewijk down the right-hand side on halfway now with Tavares. Back to Van Ewijk to keep the ball for Coventry. Being closed down by Anthony. Goes back to the goalkeeper here of Collins. He will clear it first time. Forward, high ball. Free header for Maguire. Up towards Anthony, who will lose out to Van Ewijk. And headed on by Torp. Brought down eventually by Sheaf. Who goes back to Bobby Thomas at right centre-back. It's now with Torp. Keeping it away from Eriksen. And Torp will go over the top and in behind for Tavares. It's just overhit. And Tavares still trying to, I think, run that slight knockoff he got. Almost the perfect ball, that, from Torp. The weight was almost to perfection. But just slightly too far in front of the Portuguese winger, Fabio Tavares, who was brought in over 3 years ago now from Rochdale. Wan-Bissaka with a throw-in in that left-back position. 5 minutes to play the opening 15 minutes of extra time. He gets the return from Fernandes and he clears it long, Wan-Bissaka. And it'll curl to Binks on halfway. Forward to Sheaf. Gets away from Anthony and plays it forward for O'Hare. Skips beyond McTominay. Nice turn. Then out to the right it goes to Tavares. O'Hare. Last touch off Anthony. Throwing for Coventry towards the final third. They can throw it long if they want, or they can go short with Van Ewijk. They'll throw it backwards and a bit shorter this time to Sheaf. Now Torp on the turn. Van Ewijk down the line for Tavares. Tries to go on once more for the run of Torp, but it comes off Wan-Bissaka. Another throw in for Coventry. Sheaf, 25 yards out, onto his right foot. He's going to go for the shot. Not far away from the post, but even if it was on target, probably would have been a save there for Onana. Surprised Sheaf can even kick it that hard with the amount of running he's done in that midfield. So the goal kick taken, Maguire to bring it forward outside the box. Sims chasing him from behind. He'll find Wan-Bissaka at left back. Forced back to Onana. He goes to his right this time to Casemiro. Forward to Eriksen. Time to turn for the Dane. And a big ball out to the left towards Anthony. Can't win the flick on. Van Ewijk looking for Tavares. Comes off Wan-Bissaka. Helped forward by Fernandes. Drops eventually to Anthony. But Diallo fouls Torp from behind in the centre circle. And there'll be a free kick for Coventry. Taking it quickly. And out to the right it goes. But the play will be pulled back there as McTominay was down. And it looks like United are going to make another change here. And it's going to be Scott McTominay to come off. Has missed the last 2 games out injured, McTominay, so extra time is probably a big ask. And the scorer of the first, which seems so long ago now. McTominay will be coming off here for the next most experienced player on the bench. And it's their number 62, Amari Forson. Do apologise, got number 67 on there. Change that now. So it looks like Bruno Fernandes may have to sit a bit deeper here. Or it's just Eriksen on his own in the midfield. Just Eriksen on his own with Forsen to the right. Diallo playing a bit more centrally now. Just running out of options on the bench, Manchester United. As with left back De Silva. Inside the Championship side half. Finds Sheaf loads of time on the ball, and he'll switch it out to the right to Tavares, who can control it well, and plays it back to Van Ewijk. Did well there to keep it away from Wan-Bissaka, who was aggressive in the challenge. It's now with the left centre-half here of Binks, on loan from Bologna. Played 15 times for the Italian club. Born in Gillingham. The 22-year-old. Sims just dropping a bit deep for the ball and receives it, and then clips it out to the left for De Silva, who can touch it down first time here for Torp. It's now Sheaf, midway inside the Manchester United half. He's got options to the left. He'll use Torp in the final third. It's now De Silva, everything to his right here, as he drives inside here, De Silva. Plays it into the box. Hadji right, time to shoot, blocked by Maguire. Cannons out to the right back of Van Ewijk, who can just about keep it in on the right-hand side, but the pass goes straight to Anthony, and he goes forward straight away to Højlund. Manchester United haven't got many forward. Forsen making the run. Bobby Thomas with the slide tackle. That is brilliant. Throwing for Manchester United, but he's got that tackle timed perfectly. Could not have got more of the ball there. Bobby Thomas, as he's gone down himself here, struggling with cramp. As we are nearing the end of the first half of extra time here. So throwing midway inside the Coventry half here for United, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka with the ball in his hands. Gets the return from Anthony. It's now back with Anthony again, who has to shield the ball away from Tavares. It's now to Højlund. Back to Anthony. Fernandes to his right. 25 yards out. Plays the ball to his right to Forsen. Dallo's making a run. Forsen will shoot himself. Surely takes a nick. And it does. And it'll be a corner kick for Manchester United, won by Amari Forsen. Recently substituted on for the cramped up McTominay. The shot went in towards goal. And it just came off the fingertips of Brad Collins. It's going to be an outswinger from Fernandes. 1 minute of added on time here at extra time. The first half of it. Fernandes delivers. Headed on by Thomas to Anthony, who volleys at the far post. Blocked by Thomas. On the edge of the box, Diallo heads forward. Forsen goes for the acrobatic shot. But there's a high boot in there as he nearly kicks the head of Victor Torp. That's a free kick for Coventry in the penalty box. So it looks like we're going to get the half-time whistle very shortly for this extra time period. Still 3-3. Coventry scored 3 goals in the last 20 minutes of the game to send it to extra time. Collins went to take the free kick, but the referee blew his whistle before he took it. And that'll be half-time here in extra time. Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Pretty even that extra time period. Bruno Fernandes smashed the bar early on in the first 15 minutes. Coventry have also been forward themselves. But it remains 3-3. So, some final tactical instructions being given out to both sides. You know, Manchester United did win the shootout this time last year against Brighton in the semi-final last season. They need something special here. It's been absolutely sublime, this second half performance and onwards from Coventry. Play some really nice football under Mark Robins, and this is his 400th game in charge of the club. That is remarkable. He spent a year at the club from 2013 to 2012 to 2013, then returned in March 2017. He's took them all the way from League Two to almost the Premier League, and now he's got them ever so close to a Championship, to a FA Cup final. They're going to make another change here, and it's really unfortunate. Fabio Tavares, who was brought on with half an hour to go, he played on the right wing, and he was just caught up in a challenge with Wan-Bissaka, and he's just not been able to run it off to continue the last bits of extra time. But the number 30 for Coventry has had an absolute worldie of a performance off the bench, but he can't continue any longer, so he'll be replaced by Matt Godden, who's more of a striker, but I'm presuming they might have to play him out on a more of a right wing position here. That's definitely not a change that Mark Robins would have made if it wasn't for the injury for Fabio Tavares, who provided the assist for the Sims goal, the first of Coventry's 3. So with Coventry to kick us off, kicking left to right, United right to left, both teams attacking the opposition fans for this half. And we're back underway. The final 15 minutes before penalty kicks here at Wembley. Thomas goes long for Coventry. Up towards Godden, who's running in behind, but it'll go through for Onana. So it looks like Sims will be playing right wing. Godden through the middle, Sims out on the right, Hadji right on the left. Is the ball there from Casemiro? It's not great, but he will reach Maguire ahead of Sims. Maguire's got time and space on the ball to bring it forward. And he'll play the pass to Højlund, who's allowed to turn. He's got Eriksen out to the left, and he'll find Christian Eriksen. Keeps it away from Van Evik and goes inside to the right here to Forsen. So now with Casemiro in front of the halfway line. Time on the ball for the Brazilian. Don't want to give any silly spaces away here, Coventry, to allow Manchester United in behind. Diallo forced all the way back to Onana, who's midway inside the United half here, allowed to travel a little bit with the ball. No Coventry players near him. Casemiro now has it. It's all in the United half, this. Casemiro with it. Into the centre of the park to Eriksen. Keeps it moving to the left centre-back of Maguire. Brings the ball forward. Wan-Bissaka getting forward from left-back. Maguire's still going. Maguire's still running into the 18-yard box. What a run this is from Maguire. They can't stop him. He'll try the cross. It comes off top. It stays in as well. Maguire shoots on the angle. And it's gone behind. Not sure what for. Maguire kept running. He got it onto his right foot. He kicked it off Torp, and he hit Torp in the private parts. But the ball stayed in, so Maguire nicked it away and carried on. And he had his shot towards goal to the top right corner, and it was saved in the end by Collins. That would have been an absolute dream of a goal from Maguire. Just couldn't stop running forward. Cross goes in from Eriksen. It's a deep one. Collins helps it away, and it was important because Maguire was getting on the end of it, which fell to the edge of the area to Diallo. Back out to the right-hand side to Eriksen. With his left foot, thinking about the cross. He'll eventually put that cross in, flicked away by Binks, and it'll be another corner for Manchester United. Bobby Thomas on the edge of the 6-yard box for Coventry, struggling with cramp again. Being Eriksen in swinger. This time from the near side. More than likely aiming for Maguire, who's already scored from a corner this evening. Eriksen delivers to the near post, header away by Torp. It drops to O'Hare, who can get in between Diallo and Fernandez. Still with O'Hare. Wants to go forward, kicks it off Diallo. It's a throw in for Coventry in their own half. Well won there by O'Hare. Didn't have a lot going on around him. It's a stoppage in play here, as Coventry want to take the throw in. Asks, questions of a handball there. Came off Thomas's shoulder. It would be very harsh for me. His arm's out. think it comes off shoulder then head. That would have been the harshest of handballs, in fairness. So nothing given. And it's with Coventry on the edge of the box with Bobby Thomas. It's with the right back Van Evik. Forward it goes. Headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Headed back forward by Torp. Straight to Wan-Bissaka's chest, whose touch is heavy. But it drops to Eriksson in the end. Headed away by Van Evik. Flicked backwards by Wan-Bissaka. Then kicked backwards by Fernandes to keep the possession to go all the way back to Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. Maguire to bring it forward. Højlund turns. It's brilliant. Højlund has it. Running at goal. On his weaker right side, he gets onto his left and he shoots. Deflects off Binks. And away Coventry go. Godden played in behind on the left. Flag stays down for now. Godden in the box. On his right foot. Takes the shot on. Deflects off Casemiro. And the flag stays down. Onside Godden. It was put in behind there by Sheaf. And it was Godden away. Just took it on a bit too early for me. Could have maybe tried to run at Casemiro, but he's won a corner, in fairness. Not the worst of results. I'm surprised he's onside there. Manchester United trying to keep the high line, which is risky with Maguire and Casemiro, who've already played well over 110 minutes of football. But this is a big opportunity for Coventry with 10 to play. They're going to just glide it to the far post towards Bobby Thomas, who does head it forward, but it's gone away from goal, and it'll be Dalot to collect it for United. Onto his right foot in a left-back position. Dalot giving time to play the pass forward to Eriksson. Goes into the middle. Brilliant pass from Eriksson. Now Fernandes to send it high and over the top down the left-hand side. Header away by Van Evik to Sheaf. Turns away from Højlund. Sheaf through for Sims. What a pass that is. Sims is away on the right-hand side in the box. Maguire try to get over. Sims onto his left. Pulls it back. And no one's there in blue. Cleared by Wan-Bissaka in red. And then Anthony brought to the ground by De Silva. And he'll be booked. What an opportunity. I'm so surprised Ellis Sims has tried to play that pass. You feel like he's just got to carry on running forward and try and get a shot off at goal. Yeah, De Silva just catching Anthony there on the back of the foot. It's Manchester United who are back on the ball. With Christian Eriksen on this near side. I can't believe how even this game's been since the 3-3. You know, you think maybe Manchester United would step it up, but they simply just can't. Coventry just keep matching them. Forcing Diallo, on the right wing in the final third. Lays it back here to Diallo. Fernandes, 1-2 with Dalot in the box. Dalot tries to pull it back. Dealt with by De Silva, who has to try and battle with Anthony. And Anthony wins it. Goes to the edge of the box to Fernandes, who's tackled strongly by Binks on the edge of the box. It's a fair challenge according to the referee. And Van Evik beats Højlund to it. Fernandes is left on the floor in Coventry break. Sims, Hadji Wright's through on the left. He's been found by O'Hare. Hadji Wright in the box. Left-footed. He's dragged it wide of the far post. What a chance on the break for Coventry. Hadji Wright. I know he scored the penalty, but his overall game today hasn't been great. It's a great challenge, though, by Binks on Fernandes. Definitely not a foul for me. Won the ball cleanly. And O'Hare with the pass through to Hadji Wright. Casemiro tried to get over, but he's just dragged the shot wide. If it's on target, it goes in. Onana's not getting down to that. Oh, he's just dragged it. About a yard wide in the end from Hadji Wright. Head in the hands of the Coventry supporters at the opposite end of the ground. This FA Cup still available for anyone to win before we go to penalties. Casemiro slowly bringing it forward for United from the edge of the 18-yard box. Not being closed down at the moment. Casemiro. Still has it towards the halfway line now. Plays it into Anthony, who's found himself in the centre circle. Found himself a bit of room. There's Maguire. Goes back to Onana. Coventry just holding their shape here. Maguire. Forward on halfway, then playing the pass to Højlund again, taking it on the turn. He's done that a few times now, and he's done it really well. Playing it through towards Anthony, well cut out by Thomas. And cleared as well. And Godden holds it up and finds Sims on the right. And he's playing it across to the left here. Sims stopped in his tracks by Forsen. Good defending in the end by Forsen. Sims running out of options. Van Evik with the tackle, but he drops straight to Eriksson. Clips it over the top for Anthony, who brings it down here. He can run at Thomas. And he plays a cross-field pass to the right wing here to Diallo. Chests it down in the corner of the box. 1-2 with Forsen. Diallo on his left. Lays it off for Wan-Bissaka. Shifts it on once more for Anthony, who can shoot across. It's blocked. Drops to Diallo. He'll shoot himself, and it's nowhere near that far corner. Not enough bend on it by Amad Diallo. And with 6 minutes to play, still 3-0. On his weaker right foot there, Amad Diallo, and you could tell never looked comfortable with the shot. Some Coventry fans can bear to watch. They are in full voice, all 36,000 of them. Some can't hold back tears. It means that much, as they are almost in a position where they have taken Manchester United to penalties. They've still got 5 minutes to win it. Goal kick goes long, header won by Casemiro on Godden. Just O'Hare, it reaches. 1-2 with Godden. O'Hare into the middle here for Haji Wright. Just inside the box, wants to get onto his right. Deflects to Sims, who's using his body. Try and work space for a shot. Sims will shoot off the crossbar. Back in there by O'Hare and into the side netting. So close from Ellis Sims, who got the comeback underway at 3-1, and he almost made it 4-3. It's 6 yards out. It's on the angle. He's hit it towards goal. And I'm not sure if it took a nick off an Onana finger, but it's hit the crossbar and it was eventually played out by O'Hare. Coventry coming the closest. Anthony has it, no, for United on the left wing. Running at Van Evik. Into the box. Anthony on the angle. Chops back. Plays it towards Diallo, who can control it with his chest. Shifts it to Forsen. Right-footed. Forsen shoots, and over the bar it goes. Diallo wanted the pass. He was getting forward from right back. Forsen's decided to go on his own. It'd be his first Manchester United goal at senior level. Just always rising. And even if it was on target, Collins would have seen that over the crossbar. So close from Sims. I think Onana may have just got a touch to it to help its way onto the crossbar. Coventry fans thought they'd scored at the opposite end of the pitch. Not to be for Sims. As Collins takes the goal kick. Flicked on by Sims. Drops to Fernandez, who can hook it over his head towards Anthony. He heads it inside for Eriksson. Tries to head it back out wide, but it only falls as far as Van Evik on halfway for Coventry. It's now with Sheaf. Finds O'Hare. Plays it into the space for Van Evik. Inside it goes to Godden. Lets it through for Sims. Can't quite touch it through for Godden's run. That would have been nice. But it's Maguire to bring it forward for United. And he's carrying on his run here, Maguire. What is he doing? Extra time, 3 minutes to play. Making a marauding left wing run. And he's been found. And he played it inside to Højlund. Gets away from Thomas. Højlund. A lack of red shirts around him. He'll go into the box here, Højlund. And he'll pull it across. But it's dealt with by Torp. Cleared all as far as Maguire, who keeps it alive with the head forward to Eriksson. It's now Maguire on the near side. Going down the line here for Amari Forsen. Time on the ball. Taking it across the pitch and playing it here to Fernandez. Out wide right to Diallo. On the edge of the box with his left foot. Shifts it onto his right and finds Diallo. And then Fernandez crosses it towards Maguire at the far post. Header won by Sims. Drops to Eriksson, who puts it in the box himself. Header won by Torp. Drops to Anthony, who will volley on the edge of the box. And over the bar it goes again. 2 minutes to play. Coventry, who were 3-0 down after an hour, scored their first with 20 to play. And scored their last goal in the 5th minute of added on time from the penalty spot. Collins with the goal kick. Out to the left it goes, beyond Hadji Wright, and it can't be kept in by Godden. Bounced over him, and it's a throw in the United half for the finalists from last year. Making hard work of this one. As Casemiro goes to Onana, it's bouncing to him. Godden's closing him down, he takes it away from Godden, just about keeps it in. And it's now with Dallo at right back, risky moment there from Onana. It's now with Casemiro towards the corner flag on the right hand side. Clips it forward towards Højlund. Header won by Thomas. And he kicks it forward for Coventry. Met by the header of Maguire. Well, as far as Torp, who lets it bounce. And he has to pull back Forson. And it'll be a free kick for Manchester United. Just inside their own half on the right-hand side. Fernandes, big kick out to the left. Maguire's forward for them. It's Van Eevik dealing with him, though, and Van Eevik's dealing with him very well. Towards the byline, Van Eevik can clear it, but he can't get very much distance on it. Eriksen crosses in, and it's all the way through. There was a touch on that, not sure by who, but it's now De Silva to deal with it at left back for Coventry. Minute added on. We've played 120. Sheaf, getting rid. Up to Godden. Touch back towards goal, but he can feed it to the left to De Silva. Forward to O'Hare. Could this be the last chance for Coventry? O'Hare lifts it into Hadji Wright. He might be offside. Play carries on. Hadji Wright. Torp with the finish! And the flag stayed down. Coventry's won it in the last minute of the game. Victor Torp off the bench to send Coventry into the final. Can you believe what you're seeing? From 3-0 down with 20 minutes to play. They turned it around and they've nicked a winner in extra time. A minute was added on. And Coventry have seen it as a chance to get the winner, and they've done just that. Erik ten Hag can't believe it. This is one of the biggest comebacks in FA Cup history. O'Hare had it. Oh, is he onside? Wan-Bissaka's sitting back a little bit deeper. Right on the left wing. Put it across for Torp, who somehow's all on his own. And he just has to put out his right foot. And it's enough to get contact on it to put it into the bottom right corner. It's astounding. This is what the FA Cup is. To deliver moments like this. "3-0 down to 4-3 up. Is he onside? It's so close. If Hadji Wright's onside. Wan-Bissaka is trailing back. Playing that defensive line deep. VAR are checking it. I thought he was off originally, but that's tighter than I thought. VAR is Peter Banks. And the goal's disallowed. It's offside. Oh, by a toe. By the toe. Hadji Wright's offside. I do not believe it. It's back to 3-3. The top half of his boot was offside. That is agonising. What a let-off for Manchester United. Free kick for the offside, and Arna will launch it forward. Into the Coventry box. Flicked on by Bobby Thomas. That'll be a corner. It remains 3-3. Offside by the tightest of margins. Can United go at the other end and win it themselves? Coventry fans can't bear to watch. Eriksen will deliver. This will surely be the last action of the game. Right-footed in-swinger. Eriksen puts it in. Header one for Coventry. Still alive in the box. O'Hare can tap it away. The whistle will be blown. Full time at Wembley. It finishes Coventry 3, Manchester United 3 after extra time. Coventry thought they'd won it at the end in added on time, with Victor Torp getting on the end of a Haji Wright cross. But Haji Wright was offside as the ball was played to him by O'Hare, and he was offside by the tightest of margins. He was just off, not by a lot, but somehow from 3-0 down with half an hour to play, Coventry have got it back to 3-3, and they have battled and they have made that game as even as you like. Such an even game from when Coventry got that first goal back. It's all down to penalty kicks. Manchester United were on the brink of defeat, but VAR has saved them. And they have a chance at penalties for a second year in a row. They had to beat Brighton with penalties in the semi-final last season. They won 7-6. They scored all 7 penalties. Which way will this shootout go? This has been one of the best games of football I've ever watched. It's had absolutely everything. It is why we all love the game. For scenarios like this. Written off. I'd written them off. When that third goal went in, I said that the semi-final was done. That United were through. That's why you'd never do that. Never put down the other team before the game's over. And now they've got a crack at penalties. Almost for Coventry. They almost won the game at the end if it wasn't for the closest offside call. How do we think? If anyone's in the chat, who do you think's going to win this shootout? Put your predictions in. Let me know who you think's going to win this. I mean, as a neutral, and I think everyone who's not a Manchester United fan want Coventry to do this. It's been one of the best ever FA Cup semi-finals. And we're getting the treat of penalty kicks. My man of the match for me personally is the man with the armband for Coventry, Ben Sheaf. In that midfield, he has been incredible. He was incredible when they were losing in that midfield. Constant battling. We're doing the coin flips now. So we're going to take the kicks in front of the Manchester United end. Now we'll try to find out who's going first. And it'll be Manchester United to take first. They've won both tosses. Manchester United to kick first and to take them in front of the Manchester United end. The first to take will be Casemiro, who's had to fill in at centre-back tonight with the abundance of injuries that United have currently got in that position. So it'll be Casemiro to take first. The penalty score will be in the brackets. You can see either side of the 3 all. So the referee's having a word with both goalkeepers of Andre Onana and Brad Collins, who could make themselves heroes. Some information on the water bottle of Brad Collins. I'm sure Onana might have the same. I don't think Manchester United can quite believe they're in this position when the third goal went in from Bruno Fernandes to make it 3-0 with half an hour to play. So it'll be Casemiro to take it. He's been made to wait by Brad Collins, who's taking his water bottle away, so Onana doesn't have a little sneak peek of any of the information he's got. So, former Chelsea academy goalkeeper Brad Collins, now at the age of 27, could really make himself a hero. It'll be Casemiro to take first from 12 yards. They've already had one penalty in this final, and that was for Coventry to make it 3-3 in the 95th minute of the game. Now we've got a shootout. It'll be Casemiro with his right foot. Sprints the ball straight down the middle. Saved by Collins. Advantage Coventry. It's an awful penalty. Coventry fans not getting too excited. Casemiro just trying to lift it down the middle. Collins stayed put. It's brave goalkeeping. But he's reaped the rewards. Poor penalty from Casemiro. Advantage Coventry. Had you right to take the first one. He's already scored one today. He went to Onana's left. Onana dived right. Which way will both go this time? Had you right against Andre Onana to give Coventry the lead in the shootout after one each. Had you right with the right foot. Shooting and scoring to the left side of the goal. Sending Onana the wrong way again. And Coventry lead the shootout. It's 1-0. Interestingly enough, Casemiro took the first one for United in their last semi-final against Brighton. And of course he scored because United didn't miss a penalty last time. So they've gone for Casemiro first again. And he's missed. Dalot was second in that shootout. And Dalot second again. It's Dalot to take. Casemiro went down the middle. Will Dalot do the same? Or will he bury it into the back of the net? United need him to bury this into the back of the net. Collins against Dalot. Dalot with a straight run up at the moment. He shifts across to the left. Dalot for United. Scores. Bottom left corner. Collins dives the wrong way. And it's back level at 1-1. But Coventry have a penalty to take. Solid penalty from Diogo Dalot on his 150th Manchester United appearance. It's now Victor Torp, who thought he'd won it at the end for Coventry. He now needs to get the ball in the net again from 12 yards. Dropped from the starting 11 from their last game against Birmingham, but he's been put on the pitch from the bench today, and he's worked really well alongside Ben Sheaf. But it's all on him now to keep Coventry ahead in the shootout. Not looking that confident, I must say. But it's Torp to take. Right-footed again. Torp. Oh, it's perfect. What a penalty that is. Top right corner. You don't get better than that. He didn't look confident. But that's the best penalty we'll probably see in the shootout. That is unbelievable. To have the bottle, to aim it that far in the top right corner and to dispatch it is just brilliant. And it's now Eriksen. Didn't take a penalty in the shootout against Brighton last season in the FA Cup semi-final. Can Christian Eriksen score? He's already lost 2 FA Cup semi-finals in his career. Doesn't want to lose a third. Eriksen. Oh, it's into the left-hand side of the goal again. Collins unmoved. Made a late move to the right, Collins, but Eriksen put it too far in the corner. Yeah, brilliant penalty. Even if Collins had gone the right way, I'm not sure he would have saved that one. Right in the side netting. And it's 2-2. And it's now Coventry's Callum O'Hare. Returned this season from an ACL injury he's had. And he's back. And now he's got a penalty to take in this shootout to keep Coventry the lead. Callum O'Hare, saved by Andre Onana. Onana guessed right, went to his right and saved it. And it's 2-2 after 3 taken each. It's back level. O'Hare, not the best penalty, lacked the pace. And Onana went the right way. Yeah, well on his line as well. Great save, Onana. To take the fourth, it's Bruno Fernandes. The Manchester United captain. He made it 3-0 with his deflected strike with half an hour left to play. They need him to step up and score here. Fernandes with it from 12 yards to give them the lead for the first time in the shootout. Bruno Fernandes slots it into the bottom right corner. And it's 3-2. And how the tables now turn, because Coventry need to score. Collins went the wrong way. Manchester United fans delighted. And who is it for Coventry? Doesn't need to score it. But to give Coventry the best chance, this needs to go. And it's the captain, Sheaf. He's been their best player for me. He's been unbelievable today. How he survived the full game and not had to come off is inspiring. And he needs to score here. Sheaf from 12 yards against Onana. He saved the last one. Can he save it again? Sheaf with his right foot. Over the crossbar! And it's Manchester United who lead the shootout. They've both taken 4 each. Coventry have missed their last 2. And if Manchester United score, they win the shootout. Ben Sheaf. Oh, it's always rising. Got to keep it down. Over the bar it goes. It's absolutely devastating. And that is how quickly a penalty shootout can change. To win it, it's Rasmus Højlund. Score and he wins. Simple as that. Not had his greatest day for Manchester United. But all will be forgotten if he puts this in the back of the net. It'll be Højlund to take. Just at the age of 21. The goalkeeper's been booked here for Coventry. As it's Højlund with rather straight run up to begin with. Collins needs to save it. Højlund to score, and he does! Manchester United save themselves from one of the biggest FA Cup embarrassments, and they send themselves to the FA Cup final, where they'll take on Manchester City. Very muted celebrations from the United players, which I think sums up the feeling in that squad that they have been given one of the hardest tests of the season. It's the worst way to lose. But Coventry can be nothing short of proud of themselves, and they have somehow got themselves to a shootout in this game. They were 3-0 down with 20 to play and pulled it back in miraculous circumstances. But unfortunately in the shootout, they couldn't quite see it through. They were in the lead in the shootout at 3-2. At 2-1. But one over the crossbar from Sheaf and a save from O'Hare means that Coventry crash out in the semi-final stage. It's their second ever FA Cup semi-final. Their last one was in 1987, where they went on to win it. They won't quite have that run this time. But what a story. What a game. It's not gone their way. It's Manchester United who are through as the Coventry fans wave their blue flags in the air. It was just a step too far. They've lost on penalties. After 120 minutes, it's finished Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Manchester United win 4-2 on penalties. Collins went the right way as Højlund smashed it into the right-hand side of the goal. Like I say, very muted celebrations from the majority of the Manchester United players. But for United, they have got to the final, but they've got to face Manchester City. They've only just scraped through Coventry, so it'll be a very interesting FA Cup final in a month's time. Ben Sheaf, the captain, who missed Coventry's final penalty, is distraught. He's in tears, but he's got to hold his head up high because he was the best player on that pitch for me. He put in a performance that every midfield player should aspire to. That's how every midfield player should play their football. Constant running, always being an option. And he's just very unfortunate that he's seen his side lose on penalties, and it was his that was the decider in the end. For Manchester United, it will probably feel more like a defeat than a win. But the main thing for Manchester United is somehow they've got themselves through. It wasn't pretty, but they've done it. And it's United to progress through to the final of the FA Cup in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2005. So Ten Hag breaking a little duck there, reaching back-to-back finals. They've somehow got there. I don't know how, but they've done it on the penalties. And well done to United. They've got themselves through. But a huge congratulations to Coventry City. What a journey. It does look like they'll just miss out on playoffs, so it'll probably be another year in the Championship. But this will give them so much confidence for next season, where they'll just go for it in the FA Cup, I reckon. Scored so many goals. Another 3 today. But it's just too much for them. Superb Coventry, cheers, mate. City will destroy them, but we'll wait and see. It'll be a different day. It'll be a different game. Manchester United might have a few players back. Obviously, they've had to work with Maguire and Casemiro as the two centre backs, and then McTominay in the midfield. Who, in fairness, played okay. He scored a goal, didn't he? Made it 1-0. But that will be the end of this live commentary. What a game that is! One of the best games I've seen for a very long time. It's everything you want in an FA Cup semi-final when you've got such a dark horse like Coventry coming up against such a giant like Manchester United. But here, at Wembley, it was 3-0 to Manchester United with 20 to go. Somehow Coventry turned it around to make it 3-3. They almost won it in added on time in the second half of extra time. Victor Torp poking it home, but there was an offside in the build-up. It went to penalties. Coventry were leading 2-1, but then missed their next 2. Manchester United buried their next 3. Højlund was the one to score the winning penalty. Manchester United are through to back-to-back FA Cup finals for the first time since 2005. And here at Wembley, it finishes Coventry 3, Manchester United 3. Manchester United win 4-2 on penalties.